Brazen Head. Is that a name of
Yes,
a place?
yes,
He chose
I've been
Brazen
there.
Head, and I was like, well, I should try it. So I tried it.
And then you got a Guinness.
And then I got-
Brazen
yeah.
Head's not bad. They got it on tap.
I had, you know what I had
That's nice.
at Brazen Head? Besides great friendship book discussion, John, I had fish and chips that were just spectacular.
Brazen
Great.
Head's a good vibe.
I'm glad
It
you
was
enjoyed
very
it.
cool. We were outside. It was a lovely evening, Nick.
I'm
I like to
happy
get a
for you
box
that
tea.
you enjoyed it.
I called
with
a
your
source
nerd
on my
friends.
way there, and I got some inside info about Nebraska, but I was like, sorry, I'm on vacation now, so it doesn't really matter
Oh,
anymore.
wow.
Yeah, it was a lovely, lovely evening.
I'm sure it was great with all
Lovely.
your nerd friends.
Oh, all two of them. All two of them.
It's a 3-person book
It's
club.
just three of us. We just switch back and forth on, hey,
You should've-
we
should
barely
call-
even talk about it.
How
Should've
often
called
are-
Baker Mayfield.
Is he a reader?
No, he did the commercial where they were in a book club. Don't you remember that?
No, I don't. Sorry.
No.
Is Josh
Joke
being in a
went over
book
your head.
club any different than you and your friend going to watch Rubbin' and Racing? That's a racing
you,
club.
We're going to a sporting event.
It's a racing club.
But no,
Happer has
we
another
don't-
question.
we
What's
don't-
your
we
next
don't have
question,
a
Hap?
club.
How often does the club meet?
Actually, this was the first time we'd ever. I mean, we hang out. We're friends. We all spend time together. We try to get the other friends to join into the book club, but they won't
But
do
they
it.
don't want to be
Shocking!
nerds.
Are these the friends you went to Mexico with?
Oh, of course, the best friends.
If
My
I
best
asked one of
friends
my
in the whole world.
friends, I was like, hey, let's start a book club and we'll go out to eat every month or something
Yeah,
like that.
we're meeting on the opening Thursday of college football. We're going to watch college football.
It would be insane. Hell would rain down upon me in a group chat.
If you have
Yeah.
friends that have similar interests, then they'd
Exactly.
probably be down.
Three of us are huge, vociferous readers.
like we go out and play golf. Is that a golf club?
yeah, that's. I mean, the dinner
That's
was
just a normal-
specifically
No, a
for
golf
reading.
club. You got several of them.
Yeah,
There's
that's right.
usually it starts
Yeah.
with a 2-iron
Hey-o.
and goes up to
There's an
9,
iron,
and
there's
then you get a pitching
driver.
wedge, sand
Yeah.
wedge.
We're meeting again. We're going to Cunningham's for the next gathering, and then it's my turn to choose the restaurant.
Hey, can
Right.
you do us a
for
favor?
October.
When are you going to Cunningham's?
The opening Thursday of college football season next Thursday.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say, if you were going anytime in the next couple of days, can you take a picture of yourself outside it and say, hey, I'm here at this great
I got
Irish
a Guinness.
bar.
Yeah.
Hey, look, an airport. Look at the airport.
Oh, get the ice cream. Get the ice cream.
Dude, all of the pictures last night of
They're
flight
so
tracking.
funny. It's so funny.
People,
I'm all the way
yeah,
in
I
on
was
flight
saying,
Listen,
tracking.
I'm glad people are concerned for their health and
how fun
well-being.
was
Make
last
sure that
night
the
for you?
plane makes it. But
I
man,
didn't think that you were going to say flight tracking. I thought you were going to say all the pictures of the airport, which I thought were funny. But I did.
Sean Callahan's picture.
I was
incredible.
all the way in. Yeah, that was hilarious. I was
So
all the way in on the flight tracking just because I have a general love for flight tracking. It's
I
not
love
about,
flight tracking.
It's not about Ireland. It's about flight tracking.
But all this
Did you have a
was
Guinness while you were flight
but
tracking?
all
No,
these
no.
people wanted were likes and retweets. That's the only reason they
Exactly.
did. Who
And-
cares about the
No.
flight
Yes,
to Ireland?
Are you talking about
Exactly.
me?
And it's not like,
were
okay,
you
first
tweeting
of
it
all,
out
I
too?
tweeted a flight tracker.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, but you're
For-
established. We
I
You're
got
know
like
funny,
you
two
like that.
likes
See,
on it.
You're funny though.
I
most
said
of them,
flight
Josh,
tracker.
I think you got to stay your ground on this one.
Okay.
This is creepy. I mean,
I'm gonna retweet.
It's a
I'm with you.
plane. Everybody
Hey,
can see the plane.
I'm with you.
Thank you, Nick.
okay, but you knew where the plane
You
was
got 20
going.
likes there.
But I
Matt.
didn't know when it was
isn't
going to take off.
This isn't like a coaching
But it's
search
cool
where
to see
you're
their
wondering.
flight path.
See,
Or
I-
like you look up a flight path and you're like, oh, this
But when you're
plane's in
doing it
Omaha.
for a
Then you
coaching
look up
search,
and you're
when
like,
you're
it's
doing
right
it for a
there.
coaching search, you're trying to piece things together like a mystery. There was no mystery. There's going to be a game, and it's going to
Exactly.
be in Ireland.
Let me tell you, because I do this with normal flights that aren't going to Ireland. I will pull up my flight tracker app and I will look at the planes that are around me and I will click on it and I will see where it's going or where it's coming from. This
Get
is
the
just
ice
a
cream.
thing
You're a
I
plane-
do.
You're a plane creeper.
So when there's an opportunity
This is
for
worse than my
Nebraska
book club.
football to combine with flight tracking, you know I'm going to take
But
that
again,
opportunity.
see,
Don't
you
yuck
like
his yum.
you. No, and again, he likes bits. You like bits. The
It is a bit
majority
that
of
I
the
like
people
flight
that
tracking.
were doing it, they just wanted some likes and retweets. That's all it was.
Oh, I
Hey,
didn't-
they've taken off now.
yeah, it's
Like, we don't need play-by-play
if
of
this
the
is-
plane leaving for Ireland.
exactly.
Plane by
Thank
plane.
you very much.
Thank
now,
you.
if this is your
plane
fetish,
by plane.
if
I
this
like
is
that
your
one better.
fetish, then fine.
It
Take
is.
pictures.
It
Take
is.
pictures
I'm
of
into
feet.
it.
You
Sorry.
and Rex Ryan, you do your thing. But I mean,
Fetish. Nice. Google Rex
Gets
Ryan.
me
there's a
going.
difference between tracking this flight and tracking planes of like potential recruits or
Yeah. Or
coaches or
Oh,
stuff.
I'm not checking
because
those
you're-
planes.
because you're trying to piece together a mystery.
Now, Jordan and Joel, good points. Jordan says people tweet for likes and retweets. Shocking. I thought they tweeted for nobody to see. And then Joel says,
Thank
don't
you.
we all tweet for likes and retweets? Yes, we do. Like, and yeah, I guess I
But
can't be
this
too-
was not at all. About, I knew it was going to get zero
Okay,
likes.
You're funny though. Most of the stuff wasn't. It was like, I don't know. maybe I'm just too cynical about.
I
things.
see and respect your
I
hobby.
I liked the videos of Frost sliding with music way more
Yeah,
than the
those
flight.
were
Oh,
funny.
absolutely.
Those
People
were
do that for
hilarious.
likes and retweets,
But
though.
those are funny.
But those
likes
are
and
funny.
not
That
just
actually-
like they flew.
I mean,
Why are you guys
seeing
the
the
decider
image-
on what's funny?
Okay, seeing an
I'm a good
image
judge of
of a
humor.
cartoon plane flying over a field of blue is like, oh, they're flying over the Atlantic Ocean. Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
That's how you
There's
get
a
to Ireland.
plane.
I mean, if this were the first transatlantic flight, then yes, this is a big deal.
I was thinking about this today. How many international flights have gone out of Epley Airfield in Omaha? Probably not that many. It's not an international airport.
It's a big deal.
Does that not interest you, John?
That's
Josh,
pretty
I'm gonna
cool.
change
Mr.
my
Race
mind.
Car Man, I go around in circles. I love race
But it's a
cars.
sport. It's an established sport.
Planes can be a sport. We just made
John,
it up.
if ESPN can air the Excel spreadsheet championships, then tracking planes can be a
Wait,
sport.
what? Is this?
Oh
a
yeah,
thing?
you didn't see that?
Absolutely.
I'm so
ESPN
bad at
8
Excel.
Yeah, this is not that's.
I wish I was better at Excel. I'm
that's
not very
silly
good
nonsense.
though.
You wish you could excel at it?
Josh, I apologize. Tell me more about your book club.
Yeah. Let's see. The August book was about the 1990s New York Knicks. A really fun read.
Oh
I-
my God,
I
we're
enjoyed
actually
both.
talking about this.
I enjoyed it very much. September. Now, okay, Aaron. I don't know if he's listening right now. I'm a little disappointed in Aaron's September choice. You're going to really make fun of this one. We're reading about Seabiscuit, the horse from a century ago.
You mean the book Seabiscuit?
the book Seabiscuit that
Yeah.
they based the film upon? Seabiscuit.
Hmm.
I don't really know if I have it in me to read 300 pages about a horse, but I'll do it because that's the
Maybe
book
it's
club.
not about a horse. Maybe the real horse was the friends we made along the way.
And then we went to a book club with them. Yeah, there you go.
All
That's
right,
my book
well,
club.
All right, book clubs, and are you going to have a flight tracker club? You should have a
You
flight
should.
tracker club.
I joined that club.
I like.
I bet there's a flight tracker Reddit that you
Oh,
could join.
you bet there is. I follow all the flight tracker like Twitter accounts. There's a whole bunch of those.
Just
out
like
there.
random ones.
Yeah.
What do they
is-
track?
Why are you guys making fun of other people's hobbies?
I'm not. I'm just asking the
I
question.
don't mind answering questions about this because I don't think that I've fully sussed out why I enjoy looking at the planes, but I do. I don't know. I just like looking at planes. I told you
Nick
guys this
agrees.
before. I like navigating through airports. I like going to airports. I like being at the airport. That's fun for me.
I think we talked about this because that was when I talked about Nick getting a big thing of ice cream and just sitting there. Oh, the plane.
Watching
mommy."
airplanes take off and come in is
Yeah.
cool.
It's very childlike.
You know what I do at the airport? Read a book.
And then
That's stupid.
you can look at the tail numbers on the plane and you can track who owned the plane before it is
Where the
it
plane is.
now.
Have you ever
Yeah,
wondered when
that's-
you hop on the plane where that plane's been
That
before it
plane
got
says
there?
Delta on the side. It must be owned by Delta.
I
Not
literally
all the
have
time,
never thought
John.
that.
Oh,
Not all
The only time I
time.
care about where it came from is if it looks like it's going to be late.
Well-
That's the only time I care about. But I don't just see random ones landing like, oh, I wonder where that plane
I
was.
do, and then I look at
I
where.
just, you know what
it's
I
in
do? I just
Detroit.
wait
But then
to
think
see
about
what
all
gate it
the
pulls
different
up to, and I knew
places-
where it came from.
Think about all the different places the plane has been on that very day and how amazing that is. It's so cool.
Modern
And then
technology.
you can see the history of the people who've owned the planes.
Now that's why.
I don't care.
Yeah,
about.
Oh, you don't
cares?
care about? That's
I
kind of
don't
cool.
care
I
about
do
that.
like that.
Who's
Yeah.
owned the planes? I don't care who owns the planes.
First, it was Lockheed Martin, and it was American.
Who's owned the Falcons? Let's Google this and talk about it for 5 hours.
First of all, Lockheed Martin builds the planes, John.
Well,
Yeah,
which
John.
means they were the owner of the plane. They owned the plane until they sold it to whoever they sold
Look,
it to.
I think that the problem right now is
They
that
don't
we're
give them away.
we're not talking enough about the Sean Callahan picture from this morning, which
I
is
told Robin.
maybe
I
the best piece of art he has ever put out.
Robin, zoom in on Robin. He looks dead.
Where is Robin?
He's on the right side.
Oh, is Robin in this picture? And
yes,
I missed it.
with headphones on. He looks like an actual dead corpse.
Oh wow, he does.
yes.
Holy crap! Yeah, because he just looks so sleepy.
He said he was like a 7+ hour flight. He said he slept 20 minutes.
Oh, gross. That was Bruntz
And-
was similar when
and
I
then
texted
just
him
powered
this
through
morning.
the day today.
He said, I think Bruntz said his Fitbit, he got like an hour and a half of sleep.
Oh,
Like that's disgusting.
but then you just have to power through because then you got to get on the normal schedule. So you just got to sleep at night.
Sipple's face is,
Oh,
there's a lot of
Sipple
funny
looks dead.
Sipple faces over the years. This might be the king of all of them. Also, the old people
He
just
seems
looking mad
very
at Sean.
confused about where
Yes,
where he is.
guys, where are we? Yeah, those old people look miserable.
Also-
Stop taking pictures of me, Sean.
Also, I have a message in. I told Robin, I was like, you got to get Sean to like fix his camera lens because like it's like
He probably has a phone case.
he's just nonstop posting blurry pictures.
yeah.
I texted him that he said the smudges are basically his own filter and
Yeah, it's because he has a phone
I
case
don't
on
know
it
how
that's
to
over the
answer that.
camera.
He
Which
has
is
a
the problem
filter.
I had when you guys used to accuse
Yeah.
me of taking pictures underwater.
Underwater. John had all these pictures. Looked like he was underwater because he had
Yeah.
a stupid phone case over his camera.
This one doesn't have it.
Yeah.
It had a plastic sheath.
Can you make it so it doesn't go over the camera, which is like one of the most
Well,
important
yeah,
parts
that's
of
what
the
I
phone?
literally did. Is I on my old phone case with my old phone, I cut the little plastic out around the lens. This one does not have
The cases are supposed to come with the hole already pre-made in there.
Some
so
of the real, like John had one of those. What were those called?
I don't remember, but
it was a specific, like you could throw this in the
Yes.
water and it could go all the way to the bottom and it would be
Otterbox.
fine.
the OtterBox. I have one of those right now.
I had one of those phone cases for like a week and I hated it.
It's very heavy.
Yeah, dude, it was super heavy.
It's very
Yeah, it did. The case itself was a great case, but because it had a clear plastic film over the lens, it smudged the pictures.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I
yeah,
get what you're
this
saying.
one,
So
the lens is exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's
Nice.
his deal. He's got the his phone is inside of a case or behind some sort of a glass wall.
Mhm. By the way,
that's why all the pictures are bad.
looks like Josh agrees with you too. He says my favorite app in it is
Flight Radar 24.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep.
Do you like this app?
Yes, it's the app I used last night.
Okay, so that's different than Flight. Is it Flight Aware?
Flight Aware, I
Flight
believe.
Aware?
That's you. I don't know if you can actually look at the planes and click on the planes on that one. You just have the flight information.
I see. Yeah, because when my brother and his fiance, they went over to Thailand a couple weeks ago, and so that was a fun adventure just watching them fly over there.
Oh, you did this?
Well, because it's my family.
Interesting.
It's family
That's
member. You know what I didn't do
quite
though?
interesting.
Post pictures of it on Twitter. Hey, my brother's over the Atlantic Ocean.
Have you considered maybe turning this into a vocation?
Going to Frankfurt.
I
Where
don't
you
know how
have
I could.
concerned family who are wondering about their loved ones and where they're flying.
No, they're fine. I
could-
have this free app that tells me they're
Well,
fine.
That's the point, is not to tell them that the app is free.
Hmm.
Just provide this service. Like there's a lot of people out there.
Need a lot of
There's a lot of
information.
people who have their own like YouTube channels and Twitter accounts for severe weather. And all they do is
Well, there's that guy Frankie McDonald or whatever, right? Like
well,
him?
no.
Oh.
This is like
There's
actual.
a thunderstorm.
Yeah, this isn't. This isn't. I won't go there, but
That's what he says.
I know. But these are people that like have high-tech radars and setups in their house, and they actually do severe weather coverage all around the country.
And they just do it for S's and G's.
They do it well. They have a YouTube channel.
They do it for their
They have
audience, for the
followers.
people.
You could do the same thing. You could do this for audience of people who want to
Sounds
know.
like a fun
hey,
bit.
Is this?
How
is
much
this?
money do they make, John?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
I should ask them.
I
Hey,
think
guy, how much
most
money
people
do you
know
make?
that it's an open resource. Like before all this stuff happened in Ukraine, people were tracking flights like crazy. For
But
an
you would be
entire month.
surprised how many people, especially older folks, don't want to go through all that problem. But they just want the information. Just, hey, I've got a question. You have the answer.
Personalized flight tracker.
Yes.
But you do it with a little panache, some personality, which
Yeah.
you have buckets of.
Yeah.
Mm.
You could embellish too, like saying, yes, and the,
Dragon
The-
from
the
Game
drinks-
of Thrones.
The drinks were just served.
Yeah,
you
the-
know,
the
something
drinks
like
have just been served, and
that's better than
they're
mine.
dangerously low on
Hap.
ginger ale.
Hap, I had an idea. You get these flights, right, that they're tracking, right? Then you get on Flight Sim,
I have that. Yeah.
and then you simulate, like you have the tracker on one screen, and then the flight
you
on
mean
the
in
other.
like real time?
Yeah,
Because the flight simulator game,
they do real time.
there's a real time option there where you could see the other planes that are actually in the
Uh-huh.
sky.
Crash into them like breaking
So
bad.
you
So
can
it's just real life, a real life.
and then don't be a psycho.
God.
You don't crash
Murder
into the
cult.
planes on that game? No, I
Murder
would.
cult?
That's what you do on Grand Theft Auto. You just run over
You
people.
can't
It's
run
a
into other
simulator,
planes.
Josh.
That's boring then. Why do you play?
For relaxing and
To
fun
fly
and
the plane.
sightseeing.
Well, maybe to some people who have a murder cult, crashing into other planes.
That's how I relax.
I watched Breaking Bad.
Relax.
This is why I'm not more open with you guys about my interest. You're roasting poor Hap over here.
I feel fine about this.
Yeah.
I will defend this.
We know all your interests.
this
man.
is
don't.
this is normal.
Halloween. Oh yeah, I guess I don't want to know about your Reddit searches that you have when it's 11:30 at night. I'd rather not.
Oh no.
Yeah. Josh says, can we talk? And a lot of people are pointing this out too. Can we talk about the size of that plane? I've been on that one to Des Moines. 8 hours stuck on that thing would be miserable. Was that plane
Of
tinier?
the Sean plane?
Yeah, the Sean.
Oh, that looked like a small plane, man. Yeah.
It had 3 rows though, or 3 seats on each.
But
on
only
both
one,
sides.
like one aisle. Like it wasn't the.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
you know, because most international
They're bigger.
flights, they're big.
Oh, they have like
planes.
9 seats across.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's double
2
aisles, and
rows.
sometimes there's double decks.
Yeah, I've never been overseas, so I guess I can't speak to
You
it.
have, sleeping decks and things like that.
We got a tweet. I can't read.
I know you can't.
Yeah.
I saw it too.
Yeah, at USC 6 and
I
20.
haven't seen it. So
JTech Instructions on Twitter feed.
All right. Well, we learned a lot today.
Happy New Year
in
again.
this, in this crossover.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Yeah.
I did
Dave
not
says I
miss
did
this.
not have Josh makes an old man take on my bingo card today. I believe that was about the book club.
You
We'll see.
having a book club is an old man take.
I
Is
guess
it?
so. Yeah.
Well, it
I
is.
love reading. I haven't been able to read as much lately. I've been busy.
I don't know that old men do much of that either.
Dude, yeah, I did. Well, here, you ready for old man thing? I got a paper on Sunday for the preview section. Actually, one of my friends bought it for me. He's surprised. He's like, "Hey, I got you a paper." I was like, "Whoa, thanks, man." He came over and dropped it off in the morning.
Wow, your friends are really nice.
I love my friends. Yeah, that was really cool. So I read that. Hot dog. I read Tom Chattel. Did you read the hot dog column?
I sure did.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. It turns out at the end, the hot dog is a pill.
Or is it a straw?
Well, that's the new thing.
That's
today.
a new thing.
Yeah.
That we can
Disgusting.
get into later tomorrow on Dumb Debates.
Nice.
And with that said,
Yeah.
Bye,
that's-
Happer.
That's
See ya.
another.
We'll
that's
see you
another-
Friday between the hours of 11 and 1.
Thank you. That's a great plan.
11
I
and
agree with
1.
that. Yes. at
11 and
Oscars.
1.
What, we won't see him tomorrow?
I just want to reemphasize.
Oh.
We
11
will see
to
you
1.
at 11 to 1.
11
to 1.
Friday at Oscars.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we tweet at Gary and Damon. 11 to
That
1.
feels like a really good plan.
That's a great
11
time.
to
Yes.
1. 11 to 1.
11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
11 to 1.
At Oscars, 172nd West Center.
Oh, I can't wait
On
for the wings.
1620 The Zone.
Irrational confidence.
I want to go back to the original situation. The plane is fine. Everything about the plane is fine, except for the pilot is no longer able to fly the plane. And I am the only person left in a working, usable plane that has no technical issues.
But you can land that plane?
I can land that plane.
Irrational confidence. The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
The bright sunny skies will continue throughout the second half of your working school day. I'm tracking a high temperature of 89 degrees. For tonight, a few clouds will build in with temperatures only cooling into the mid-60s. For your Wednesday afternoon, I'm tracking mostly sunny skies with a high temperature of 92. I'm meteorologist Anthony Copeland for KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
This is Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center. We have run our business for years by helping the vehicle owner retain the value of their vehicle by working for them with warranted, safe, high-standard repairs. For this reason, Omaha vehicle owners have chosen Dingman's to repair their vehicles. Your loyalty has been shown through repeat business and amazing referrals. You've also voted us first place Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. We want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and our incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Hi, everybody. Gary Sharp. You know, if you've been in Nebraska for a while and you love going to sporting events and you're getting your hands on the best tickets, there's a good chance you bought them from Ticket Express. Well, I'm here to tell you that Ticket Express has a new name. It's Tickets for Less. So if you've loved the quality customer service and the community feel that Ticket Express has brought us over the past 3 decades, have no fear. Tickets for Less is going to be here with the same energy and the same selection. Ticketsforless.com. Always the best seats at the best prices to your favorite sporting events. And if you ever need anything, just give them a call. 402-398-1999 and tell them Gary sent you.
When you bundle your renters and auto insurance with Progressive, you could save money, but it doesn't cover any terrible memories living rent-free in your head.
Hey, just wanted to remind you of that time your kicker missed the extra point and lost the game. Even though he literally never missed an extra point, he chose this playoff game to miss. Yeah, I just noticed you hadn't thought about that in a bit. Wouldn't want you to miss, thinking about it.
Sorry, we can't save you from that memory, but we could save you money bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Renters insurance and bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
It's 42 degrees annual summer sale, and it is hot. Premium Kratom up to 30% off. CBD up to 50% off. And candles from $9.99. Looking for a new pipe? We have the largest selection of glass, silicone, wood, and metal as low as $7.99. Interested in the latest vaporizer from Dr. Dabber? We have them starting at $24.99 with the most knowledgeable and friendly staff. And hot summer sale pricing. Why shop anywhere else? 42 degrees is the source. Your source. By your mom's house.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Red Out Week means prediction week. Lots and lots and lots and lots of predictions.
Like
rolling
what?
in from everywhere.
What are we predicting today?
Well, you know, football.
Oh, I love football.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome, everyone, to a Tuesday edition of the program. And a full program we have today. Don Munson will join us. He's the voice of Clemson. That'll be in the 5 o'clock hour. Michael Bruntz from Ireland. He beat the team there. He had his passport and all of his stuff in a row.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to get there on time. By the way, did I mention the buses passed me by on the, well, they didn't pass me. We went
pass me.
We went opposite directions on the interstate before Omaha drivers got stupid. Yesterday was ridiculous in terms of traffic. Usually Mondays are a very light traffic day. Apparently everybody was driving and they were driving like morons.
Probably because they're getting ready to go to Ireland. Like, who cares?
Well, I mean, if they are, then they're going the wrong way and they're going to have to get on a plane at some point so Connor can track them because they were all headed west. But the buses, I saw the buses going
like
towards,
2 ships passing in the night.
like 2 ships. I was going to try
Honk
to
for the
wave,
Huskers
or wave, but
Hey,
it
Trev.
happened. It happened so fast. It was just like, oh crap, there went the buses.
How many buses were there?
3.
3 buses.
To which I thought,
I bet they were so excited
because they're taking like 110 guys, right? I think they said 110.
I believe that was the
guys.
number. Yeah.
And you got all the coaches, the support staff.
Mm-hmm. Probably what, 150 people?
I mean, I would think with all those big folks, you would have more buses.
Yeah.
You'd like take maybe 4 or 5 buses.
You talking about big folks as in?
That means they had to double up on the seats.
You talking about like hefty fans, or you talking about the big players?
I mean, even Frost would have had to share his seat because the coach always
saying
takes
Frost
that
is
same
thick?
seat at the front
Go
of the
big
bus.
fans.
I'm guessing if Mrs. Frost is going,
don't talk about family.
Oh, that's right. Can't talk about family. Maybe she got to sit in the front seat with Scott, but someone had to sit up there. I mean, it had to be crowded buses.
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
Well, we saw the planes. Apparently, those were crowded too.
But Bruntzy is in Ireland.
Nice.
So he is the first correspondent on the ground. We will speak to him.
Boots on the ground.
Mike Ferrin today. We have a lot to cover with Ferrin.
I was going to say, how much of the comic do we have left? Where did we stop? Man, it's getting all bent.
It is, but yeah, we're going to have to figure out where we left off in the comic. Plus,
I think we were there because remember?
Oh yeah.
That looks like Watchmen. Like I don't know, you never probably read Watchmen.
Yeah.
It just looks like they did a really good job with this comic. Again,
Yeah.
I mean, all the dialogue is wrong, and
well, we may have to carry this over for yet another week.
Either that, or maybe we just don't talk baseball today. Oh, rats! Guess we can't talk enough baseball.
That's terrible.
I do want to
That's
ask him.
literally why he's on.
Look, I had a few baseball questions for him today. The Yankees,
They're a baseball team.
Max Scherzer.
He's a baseball player.
The Angels are selling.
Do you want to talk about the 90s Mets?
I have no.
No, that was the
Knicks.
60s. That was the 60s.
My bad,
No,
I thought you were talking about the book I read.
I
think
was
it-
talking about the book.
Oh, I thought you were
Knicks.
talking about Mitch
the
Holtis.
Knicks.
That was your
Yesterday,
favorite team, Bing Bong.
yesterday,
basketball.
Mitch Holtis was talking about the 60s Mets.
Yeah, meet
Speaking
the
of
Mets.
Mitch, he'll be along. But also, Ferrin will give his prediction. Remember, he is the defending champion.
It's the only prediction we need.
He is the defending Husker season prediction champion.
Is he about to be a positive boy?
I don't know, but
I'm a little scared.
His message to me was, and I quote, wrong link there, John. You're going to be floored by mine.
So it's either like 1-11 or 10-2. You know, I mean, it's going to be extremes. I don't think it's going to be like 6-6. That's pretty boring. I think I'd be more surprised if he was a positive.
I'm
boy.
going to predict he is going to say 9-3. I don't think he's going to Jack Mitchell.
10-2.
But I think he's going to go 9-3.
Sounds about right.
That's my prediction of Ferrin's prediction.
Your prediction of a prediction.
Yes.
And we'll get Bruntz's prediction.
And we'll get Bruntz's prediction. We're getting everyone's predictions.
Nice. Awesome. And then ours are Thursday?
Yes.
Because that's when we're doing will win, might win, should win, won't win.
You never asked for my
live from the
You can
break
give yours this year.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Did you give one last year?
No, you wouldn't let me.
No, it's not that, Nick.
That's not true.
You never want to participate in anything. I'm like, hey, you want to watch the game? And you're like, no.
Why would I want to cause harm to
Would you like to go? Would you like to go now?
I think I would.
Let's get Nick's prediction on a Tuesday. All right, Nick, they play 12 games.
Uh-huh.
There aren't any ties anymore.
No ties.
5-7.
5-7, says young Nick. All right. So the first negative boy so far, trying to beat Robbie and me to the punch. Wow. He's a smart young lad.
5-7?
He's a smart young lad.
Yeah.
Are we sure that
he knows what he's
Stuart
talking about?
Mandel
It
isn't your
seems like a
father?
really easy
Ooh.
schedule in most parts. I think they can get 5.
Roasted.
Wow.
you
backhanded.
Nice, Nick. Look at you being a smart ass.
Backhanded.
And you've learned well.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, Mandel. Are we going to talk about his prediction
Oh, we
today?
will.
Holy moly.
Oh, we will.
Holy
we'll update
moly.
you on all of your predictions in our poll question and a lot more. 402-951-1620. Also, want to ask more about Casey Thompson.
Oh.
You know, the guy who didn't make the poster. And also Northwestern in general. You know, they're not leaving. They're just leaving today. They're not coming back until Sunday.
Yeah, they're using it as more of like a little fun.
Because they have an off week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Which
whereas
Nebraska
does not. That's why Nebraska's coming home pretty much right after the game.
Because they got to play.
Can you imagine if things don't go well? You know, sometimes we experience this in baseball. If the Jays had a bad series and we were on a bus trip, sometimes Ed would be like, "We're getting on the bus,
going home,
and we're going home."
Yeah,
we're not stopping for food or for showers or anything.
And so you lose, and then you're like, "Hey, we're hanging on Ireland for another day."
Can you imagine?
You just want to go home.
Can you imagine if Frost is so upset after Saturday? He says, "Guys, no showers. We're getting on the plane." They have to fly home.
Oh, stinky?
Stink plane.
Oh, that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be fun at all. It wouldn't surprise me. You know how coaches are,
He's
though.
not going to do that.
This seems a little harder, though.
I don't want anyone out there to say, "You said he's going to do it." No, I'm not going to do that. But if you wanted to be a real jerk store coach.
Oh, that would be. You keep your pads on the whole flight home.
If you go back to Junction Boys.
Oh, Bear Bryant would have done that.
Oh, Bear Bryant's like, you know, he takes Texas A&M over to play, I don't know, Auburn.
What was that, 55? Is that their first year?
In London. He's like, guys, we're getting back on the boat and we're not showering.
Oh, it's 54, not 55. Let's see. What happened in the 1954 Texas? Who did they play first?
Well, first of all, half the players died because they didn't get enough water.
Seriously, they were puking their literal guts out.
Yes.
They lost to Texas Tech 41-9. Probably because they had 5 players on their team. Nice job there, Bear Bryant. But then they got good.
Well, and then Bear Bryant left.
When Mama calls, man, you got to go home.
He went to Kentucky after that.
That's right. He did go to Kentucky.
Then Mama called.
No. He was Kentucky first. Never mind.
Oh, he was Kentucky
Maryland
first?
for a year in 45. Kentucky, and then A&M for 4.
Oh,
and then,
I thought Mama called from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Called to Kentucky. I didn't think Mama called to Texas A&M.
Man, he was that guy. Here's a take for you, John. Bear Bryant, good coach.
He was.
Good coach.
He was. Pretty good manipulator, too.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Devaney felt like he was taken a few times.
Ooh.
Back in the days when the coaches made all the bowl matchups. 402-951-1620 if you want to call or text the program on this Red Out week around the world in 80 days-ish.
Nice.
Brought to you by Union Bank, where your money has people. John at 1620thezone.com. Josh at 1620thezone.com. Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally, answer the phone on the first ring, and wonder aloud if people still are allowed to smoke on airplane. That's a joke for you, Doug. And JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. So, yes, when we come back, Stuart Mandel.
Ho!
Had a prediction.
Is he still a friend of the program?
Oh, you haven't had him on for a while. He's been kind of...
Get him on the show,
aloof.
Nick.
He's been kind of aloof.
Get him on the show, Nick.
He might be a good... Well, no, we don't have
Maybe next week, Nick. Maybe next week.
Maybe
we'll
next
get him on.
Okay.
Say, hey, why do you hate Nebraska?
We can get him on after
Did I open with
Nebraska
that?
beats Northwestern and say, what were you thinking? On 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
And it all starts with a scholarship application to Metropolitan Community College. Every year, MCC awards more than $3 million in scholarships to students. In less than 5 minutes with a single application, you can apply for all the scholarships available to you. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start September 6th. Apply today at mccneb.edu/scholarships.
Being in business 100 years can't be easy. Rotella's Bakery is that business. Great family-owned and operated business that understands the needs of the community. They specialize in breads and rolls made from the highest quality ingredients, ensuring that they are superior in taste. At Rotella's, with 5 great generations represented, the American success story is combined with customer satisfaction, and they don't compromise in quality. For more information about their specialty breads, you can visit rotellasbakery.com.
Bill Jones.
And Olivia.
Here for Jones Bros Cupcakes. Have you tried our new chimney cones yet, Olivia?
They are so yummy.
Chimney cones are stacked on a sugar-coated croissant cone with gelato. We have flavors like birthday cake, strawberries and cream, s'mores, salted caramel, and more.
I love the birthday cake chimney cone topped with a mini cupcake. So good.
Come see us at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village.
We appreciate your support.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
They say to never mess with the classics, but Panera did just that and more with our new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. By using pan-seared chicken, our secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisps, and pickle chips, all on a buttery brioche roll. Because if no one messed with the classics, you never have a chicken sandwich this good. New Chef's Chicken Sandwiches from Panera. Only $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit PaneraBread.com/delivery info.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Yeah, if you're already getting triggered by all of these Irish travel logs,
you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, it's just begun.
It's Tuesday, folks.
It's only just begun. Though I do have a question for Mitch. I wish we would have known this yesterday when Mitch Sherman was on. He's got a 7-hour layover in Atlanta. And he's asking, why would anyone want to eat sausage mixed with mashed potatoes? Didn't you ever have little Smokies with mashed potatoes and a butter pad in high school at lunch or grade school?
I didn't eat mashed potatoes back then, so I definitely.
I
didn't.
know you're out on this one.
It's good.
You're out on this one because you didn't have the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Boil 'em,
But that
mash
used to
'em,
be
stick 'em in a stew.
That used to be the thing. You'd have the little Smokies with mashed potatoes, but there was no gravy. They just put a pat of butter in the mashed potatoes.
That was the food lubrication. Was the butter.
I mean, I wouldn't. I'd eat it. I like sausage. I like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I'd eat. I try it. Yeah,
That doesn't seem like a weird combination, does it?
No,
No, it's not at all.
no. It sounds normal.
Okay. All right. It's just me.
I
Then.
love brats.
I love brats too.
There you go. The brat boys.
like brats.
Continue to vote in our
Yes, please.
poll brought to you by us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it sponsored?
I wish it was.
That'd be cool.
It
Brought
should
to you by
be.
the Casey Thompson-less poster.
Yes, brought to you by the poster that does not include the presumptive Heisman winner.
Oh, wow.
Can we just draw a stick figure in Sharpie and put Casey Thompson?
I mean, you
Can I do
could.
that? I
Are
have a
you
Sharpie
good
in
at
my office.
art? I wouldn't do it, Nick, with Sharpie there because it would end up on the wall. I don't want
That's
you to get
true.
in trouble.
May go through the.
I can do it with one of the dry erase markers.
May go through there.
Could do that.
But the positivity has gotten strong. Though, after I posted about the positivity, it has since taken a different turn.
Did the negative bots come in?
I guess.
The negative
Bots.
boys. Negative boys.
About an hour
Bots,
ago,
bots.
I just retweeted the link and it said, hey, the positivity is growing. 79.4% combined votes, 6 and 6 or better. Right now, the clubhouse leader is the 6 and 6 or 7 and 5 brigade at 52%. The 8 and 4 or better crowd is at 26.8%. So now the total positivity is 78.8. So it slid back. Yeah, it's only 0.6 of a point, but after you've had 1,400 votes, that's a lot
can
of folks,
decide an election,
a lot of
John.
folks came in and said, wait a minute, that's too much positivity. Or maybe they were just finishing up reading Stuart Mandel.
Maybe that's what they were doing. They were like, you know what? I'm not voting until I read all the national scribes. And maybe the last one that they read sways their opinion and vote.
So, everyone's predictions are coming out this week nationally. And Stuart Mandel, like everyone else, is picking Ohio State to win the Big Ten Conference.
It seems like this is the lock of all locks.
Yeah.
Because even Alabama, most people are picking Alabama. But there are a few Georgia stragglers that are coming in.
Sure.
The ACC is kind of wide open. Most people
Yeah.
picking Clemson, but you can pick other teams if
Big
you want to
12's
get cute.
wide open.
Big 12 wide open, Pac-12 wide open. But the Big 10, not wide open. It is Ohio State and Ohio State.
And that's it.
And that's it.
But so he's got Ohio State 12-0, winning the East by 3 games.
Yeah, just destroying everybody.
Michigan State, Penn State, all at 6 and 3. Maryland, Rutgers, Indiana 0-9.
Dude, that's a program that is dropped
Tom
off.
Allen is going to have a field day. Stuart Mandel may never be allowed in Bloomington for the rest of his life, knowing how Indiana pushes back against that. But in the West, Iowa, Minnesota 6 and 3.
And he has Iowa winning, so he has them winning in that rivalry yet again. Sad.
Purdue, Wisconsin 5 and 4.
Whoa.
Illinois 3 and 6.
Oh, so now he'll get to Nebraska.
Northwestern.
Oh no! Oh no!
Nebraska.
Oh.
2-7.
Oh.
And he has Northwestern listed ahead of Nebraska, so he's essentially picking Northwestern to win on Saturday.
He is indeed. Now, is this when you're going to call him a homer? Because that is his alma mater.
I could.
He's a Northwestern guy.
I didn't think about that.
The Medill School of Journalism.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Isn't that what it called? Isn't it Medill?
That's kind of
the Medill School of Journalism, Media, Integrated Marketing, Communications.
But under the category of coach most likely to get fired.
I mean, hard to argue with this one, right?
Nebraska's Scott Frost. But listen to the explanation. He says the best guess here is athletic director Trev Alberts finally rips off the Band-Aid midway through what figures to be another mediocre Huskers season. 4-8 would not be mediocre. It would be bad.
That's below mediocre.
That's below mediocre levels.
Yeah.
Listen,
we added that to the list, right? That you said he's not getting fired in season.
He is not getting fired in season.
Let me make sure it's on the list.
He is not getting fired in season.
I believe you said that.
And I believe, now listen, this may not apply to everybody, but I think athletic directors in general may now be able to be a little more patient unless there's like a real hot free agent out there. To fire, you don't necessarily have to be the first one to fire anymore. With the transfer portal, you can rebuild a recruiting class in a snap.
Oh yeah, because it's not even a recruiting class.
You
it's
get
a
the right
portal
coach.
class.
You get the right coach to come in, and you can play. You can basically get your pick of the litter out of the transfer portal if you're a good enough program with a good enough coach. So I don't know. I do wonder if the transfer portal is going to change the trend we've had recently where, hey, when an athletic director's made up his mind, it's no longer, we're not waiting until the end of the season. We're just going to, we're chopping his head off right here and now.
Whoa!
I could be wrong.
What is this? House of the Dragon? Nice.
I could be wrong. But I don't think, especially with what I believe politically to be the situation.
Stick to sports.
No way. Again, I allow myself the caveat unless there's a scandal that Scott Frost is getting 86th prior to the end of the season.
So let's
the
just
decision will be made similar to last year.
So a thought I think that was made in season though. Technically, now that's different than Mandel saying midseason, but that was made in season. That's the one argument against what you're saying, right? He has shown precedent in his very limited amount of time here that he's willing to do something in season. I guess the flip side of that coin is this. If Frost, because you and I are in agreement, that he said you got to fire some folks, and Frost said, okay. If Frost tells him no, does he ace him in that moment, or does he wait until 2 games later? He probably would have waited 2 games later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't have, because that's the argument, right? It's why?
Yeah.
Why do it in season? Now, I guess let me present a thought exercise just to do so. They're 0-7 going into their bye week after Purdue.
I'm not even entertaining. They're not.
Well, because they're not going to go 0-7.
They're not going to be 0-7.
I'm just trying to find.
I think I've changed my floor and ceiling. I don't think Nebraska's going 4-8. I think 5 is the floor now.
Really? Why? Maybe we can expand on that.
I just don't. I don't think they're going to lose as many close games as they did last year. And yes, the schedule is, dare I say, more manageable.
The opponents are easier on paper.
Easier on paper.
I wouldn't say the schedule's easier. I would say the opponents are lesser.
Now, I say that. Stumanji Sports Bureau tweeted this out earlier today.
Yeah,
Nebraska's record versus the teams on its schedule. 2018, 2-5, 2019, 2-5, 2020, 2-4, last year 1-7. 7-21 overall against the schools under Scott Frost that are on this year's schedule. And of course, all of those are most of those are division foes. They didn't play all their division.
They have
foes
a winning record against one of them?
Yes.
Rutgers.
Yes.
And that's because they've only played them once.
They've only played them once.
They're 500 against Illinois. They're 500 against Northwestern. Everybody else they are sub 500 against. Some it's like 0-1, like Oklahoma, for example.
Yeah.
And then others it's, 0-2, 0-3, and some 0-4. Iowa, they're 0-4.
Unless some of these teams are better than we thought. Much better than we thought.
Or why can't
if
Nebraska be
goes
worse?
3-9 against this schedule, an argument could be made. It could be the worst Nebraska football team of all time.
Yeah, because at least last year, dare I say it, they kept the games close.
Well, and they
played a good schedule.
They played a good schedule.
Aiden says the floor is literally 2. It has to be. So you're not entertaining an idea where they go winless in league.
No,
that's essentially what you're saying.
No, they're not going winless in league.
Does your mind change in 4 days if as I log on to the air with Gary if they have lost?
No,
you're not entertaining that they could go 2-10 if they lose to Northwestern.
No.
Wow. Davo says he's either.
I refuse to overreact to the first game.
Well, that's silly because they lost last year and then they only won one more Big Ten game.
Well, but I'm not.
Dude, if they lose to this trash ass Northwestern, bad. And I do not think we can underestimate the snowball. Look, I know yesterday we were joking talking about the poster, and I brought up Sam Keller because they didn't put Sam Keller and Joe Gans on the poster. But I thought about that a little bit as I went home and how that year was that team more talented than 5-7? Yes, but the leadership seemed to be poor. The quarterback certainly at the top was a new guy. Look, I'm not saying Sam Keller had a lot of problems. I'm not saying that about Casey Thompson, but he's also a new guy, and like say what you will about Adrian, and we'll have Max on tomorrow. Read the story about Adrian. That dude put everything on the line when he played.
He did.
There were people that were telling me September and October, like losing respect for the coaching staff for what they were doing, for allowing Adrian to kind of make that decision and his family make that decision because of how dangerous it was. That mattered to those players though, man. Like he put everything on the line. They still barely know a lot of these teammates.
Well, we can flesh more of this out in a minute.
Yeah, David says he's either gone by October 1st or still there. Solved it.
No, he's not going to be gone by October 1st.
Yeah,
if Trev fires him before October 1st,
that'd be stupid.
It would have to be a scandal.
Here's the thing,
because the buyout literally changes on October 1st.
Yeah,
it would be pointless to do so. You would be spending more money. You wait until after October 1st. But I also don't believe that the chopping block is going to come right after October 1st. It's not happening midway through the season.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the bye week coming 3 weeks later, because would you fire a coach just to have another coach take over with a week of prep? In the NFL, for example, when guys get fired, usually it's with a bye because that allows for more time, to kind of get put together.
Exactly. 402-951-1620 if you have thoughts. Other predictions are out there as well. And the humans continue to be negative, and the computers have changed.
Everyone's getting negative these days.
Everyone's getting negative, while the fans are getting more positive.
Well, yeah, the fans are.
The fans are doing what the fans do, and good for them. On 1620 The Zone. Friends, if you need an AC repair, if you need a furnace repair, you can get great product everywhere, but not everywhere has great customer service. McCarthy's, for over 50 years, has been the masters of customer service. They literally put it in their slogan, always on time or you don't pay a dime. That's how much they value your time and your business. And with the guarantees that they provide as part of their Comfort Club, you can get a furnace and AC inspection twice a year, discounts on repairs, and move to the front of the line when things get busy, all for one low monthly fee. That never changes for the lifetime of your membership. And you'll always be under that McCarthy's promise, the you win guarantee. Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Find out more. Visit McCarthy's1hour.com and discover the McCarthy's 1 hour heating and air conditioning difference. McCarthy's1hour.com. The FanDuel Sportsbook is back, folks, for gambling season. Oh, I'm sorry, it's NFL season, but you all know that NFL is the most popular sport in America to bet on. And right now, John and Josh want to get you involved with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because today you can get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed. All you have to do is place your first $5 bet. And boy, Josh,
Wouldn't it be great to put some money on the Rams and the Bills?
I don't know about that, John, but as long as they use our promo code 1620, they can get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Once again, with that promo code 1620, make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
1620 The Zone, live and local, broadcasting 6A to 6P in the Host Coffee Zone studio. Host Coffee, building healthy and happy break room refreshment services to Omaha and Lincoln metro area businesses. Discover a better break room solution for your office at sales@hostcoffee.net.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
It is Big Red Friday, August 26th at McDonald's. You'll score a limited edition Husker flag for just $5. You're looking for a good cause? The proceeds benefiting your local Ronald McDonald House. That's a good deal. Those families, they go through enough. We want to take the burden off of those families by supporting the Ronald McDonald House. Should a Husker fan like you need a flag? Absolutely. Stop on out. It's Big Red Friday, August 26th at your local McDonald's.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is to Cops. Receive two $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, tasty charred wings, sandwiches, pastas, and steaks. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. For the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center or 180th and Center.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Couple responses. First one is from Kevin. He writes, Stewart sounds like a scribe for Ohio State. Stewart showing the hate towards Nebraska still after a couple of years. Ohio State always has one bad loss, and we will see how good of a coach Day is with all of his recruits. Now, I definitely agree on the latter part. Fork in the road season for Ohio State. What hate does Stu dislike Nebraska? I think that he's probably just playing the odds of they've always been under 500 under this coach, so he's just going to pick it again.
Well, he's not the only national scribe who offered opinions today. The friends over at CBS Sports.
The friends, Dennis Dodd, your dear friend.
Oh, great guy.
Dennis Dodd.
Tom Fornelli.
He is actually a friend of the Grum.
He is a friend of the Grum.
Mm-hmm.
They had their entire college football writing committee, which includes the aforementioned Dodd, Chip Patterson, David Cobb, Jerry Palm.
I always forget Jerry Palm does football stuff.
He does do football stuff.
Occasionally, yeah.
And everybody, is that seven?
Seven
guys? Yeah, 7 different writers. All had Nebraska either 4th or 5th in the division.
So that's not that big of haters. That's it's normal, right? You can still make a bowl game being 4th in the West.
You can.
They all had Ohio State to win, by the way. Just throwing it out there for
yes, everyone had Ohio State.
Yeah.
Everyone had Ohio State.
Because they're really good. That said, it'd be funny if they lost again.
But there was a thought not too long ago that maybe Nebraska could be a dark horse picked by a lot of folks. And that hasn't really transpired.
No. I think we were basing that all off of the numbers.
I guess.
And
the computers?
Very, because that's what it was in response to, was it not? Wasn't it some of the Vegas odds?
Yes.
We saw the Vegas odds, what they were, and then we saw we saw SP Plus, we saw FPI, we saw a lot of those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when some of those first kind of early predictions came out, it was like, oh, you know what? Never mind. We might have been wrong. They still have the second best odds in the division on FanDuel, promo code 1620.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is plus 170, Nebraska plus 350, Iowa 4-1, Wisconsin 5-1, Purdue 6-1, Illinois 30-1.
Well,
Northwestern.
And for those of you
100-1.
watching in, we appreciate our growing family of those who are watching now on 1620thezone.com.
thank you.
But you can also listen. You do both.
Still AM radio.
We got the final SP Plus projections from Bill Conley, friend of the program. And going all the way back to February when he did his first SP Plus update for the new season. At that time, he had Nebraska, and this is just based on the percentage chance of winning, going 6-6. I don't remember what the actual number that he had posted. But when we got to May, because he did another update after spring, the Minnesota game flipped
from a loss to a win.
And I included, as part of that exercise, the trend. And in every game, and we're not counting North Dakota because FCS.
Yeah, he doesn't do a line for it.
But in 10 of the 11 games on the schedule against Division I, or FBS competition, Nebraska trended to the positive. They gained ground in every projection, except one, the Oklahoma projection. They were actually down a little bit. And the Minnesota game went from a projected loss to a projected win. So then he had 7-5. And this is all using a 2.5 point adjustment for home field. So you get 2.5 points extra if you're hosting versus visiting. And you look at some of the margins. I mean, there were a lot of coin flip margins. I mean, Oklahoma, 5.5 point spread in favor of Oklahoma. Purdue, just 0.8. Minnesota was just a 0.5 point to Nebraska's favor. Wisconsin, 3.5 point favorite. Iowa, 2.7 point favorite. Again, according to Bill Conley's SP Plus. Now, that was in May. And if you're watching along again, you can see all the up, meaning good news for Nebraska.
Yes.
But now he did his latest one this weekend.
Oh, no.
And everything is down except one game. And by a considerable margin. I mean, look at some of these margins. The Oklahoma spread right now, well, back in May, was Oklahoma by 5.5. So if Bill is predicting this game using SP Plus and using that 2.5 point adjustment for home field, Oklahoma, and according to his numbers, should be a 5.5 point favorite. Now it's 11.5.
Whoa. What happened there?
It changed by nearly a touchdown.
Yeah, and a lot of these numbers, like none of them are that big, but they're all pretty big. They're all about a field goal or more.
Illinois. Now, granted, Nebraska's still, according to SP Plus, favored to win by 13 points. But that adjustment, it's almost a 5-point adjustment. It was an 18-point spread back in May. It's down to 13 points. Michigan. Now, Michigan was favored to win by almost 11 points back in May, according to Bill Conley. Now it's up to almost 16. Iowa, we mentioned.
Yeah.
Favored by 2.5, according to Bill, in May. Today, 7.5.
Yeah, and so we got a question. Let me find it real fast from Travis. He says, why are the computers changing? Have any metrics changed over the last 3 or 4 months? Knock on wood, we haven't even had any major injuries. And I mean, my quick response, and I'm guessing you would agree with me, is the other rosters have gotten better. But, I mean, when did you say they were done again? May?
The last time he did an update was May 23rd.
I mean, not a whole lot has changed since then. I mean, like a Jordan Addison, for example. That was a big change that would have happened, I believe, after the last time. But I don't really think there are a whole lot of Jordan Addison type additions to any of these programs.
These are all great questions.
Yeah.
For Bill, because I don't have the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what really changed a whole lot. I'll just read a little bit from Bill's column that accompanied these new rankings. Says, below are my final SP Plus projections. As mentioned, these are based on 3 primary factors: returning production, which includes recent recruiting and recent history. How good have you been recently? Who do you have coming back? How good are the players replacing those you don't have coming back? That's loosely what we ask when we're setting expectations for a team. It's also what these projections attempt to do objectively. He says, note, some teams' projections may have changed a bit compared to where they were in May, and it may not have anything to do with the factors above. I've also made a couple of tweaks to the SP Plus formula itself.
See, now, and he does do that every year where he'll kind of look at the results and he'll play off of the results and he'll, really maybe he'll tinker around and really he wants to get the most accurate number possible.
Yeah.
That would definitely explain what's happened here. So I wonder what it dislikes about Nebraska, because look, I think if a few of these would have gone down and either some stay or some others go up, I think we could say it's most likely about the opponents and not Nebraska itself.
Yeah.
But given that almost all of them went down, all but one game, Indiana,
and they
got
all
worse,
and they all went down in some cases. It looks like the average change is probably around a field goal to 3.5 points.
And that's, dude, in point spreads, a field goal is massive. That is a huge line movement in the world of point spreads.
Yes.
So that tells me that the computers dislike something about Nebraska. So
correct.
Maybe that it explains it, maybe simply that's what it is.
So as it stands right now, if you just look at the matchups head to head, it's predicting a 6-6 season.
Yeah.
But because this formula is based on probability, Nebraska's actual projected win total, according to Bill, is 6.9.
Nice.
So it's still predicting a winning season. It's just not as bullish.
Yeah.
As it was in May or even last February. But I thought that was interesting. So he must have made, and I don't want to get, too technical for you here, or technical for me.
Or for me, yeah.
But it sounds like maybe the tweaks to his formula may have had as much to do with this as anything else.
Yeah.
But it is rather interesting to see how pretty dramatically different. So as it stands right now, according to Bill, basically the first month of the season are all going to be games decided by 10 or more points. Northwestern, 14 points. Georgia Southern, 25. Oklahoma, 12. I'm rounding up. Indiana, 16. And Nebraska going 3-1. And your coin flip games right now look to be Purdue, where Purdue is a 4.5 or 4.1 point favorite. Minnesota, which is now a Nebraska underdog, 1.6. Michigan is another blowout, but Wisconsin, 4.8. But Iowa no longer kind of fits into that coin flip category anymore.
Yeah.
It's now over 7.
Well, and I would ask you this, and I'm guessing you'll probably agree. Are you willing to put Illinois into the non-coin flip category, given how that game has gone the last 2 years? They came into Lincoln and stomped them 2 years ago.
Well, that'll be an exercise for Thursday.
Yeah, fair. But
when we do our will win, should
Yeah.
win, might win, won't win.
Yeah, and that's why the razor's edge for so many of these games, I think it's going to be very real. And look, I've said it, and I'll say it again. I think they will lose a game or games this year by at least 2 scores. I don't think they're going to live in single-digit point loss, land again.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. That's not going to happen for a second straight year where every loss is that way.
Right.
I also think that they're going to win it. Spoiler alert, I think they're going to win a close one this weekend against Northwestern. So I think they're going to get over that hump, but I also think that the inverse is going to happen too. But I mean, look, this is an obvious statement of all obvious statements. This season is going to come down to what happens in those games. And can they reverse what seems to be a complete trend under Frost? For the most part, I am a believer in getting back to the mean. You fumble a lot one year, you're probably not going to. For example, the Dallas Cowboys, their takeaway numbers are going to drop this year. I do not think they're going to be able to live like they did last year as just the most dominant takeaway team that the Cowboys have had, since I've been watching them. But Nebraska in close games, like that has been a constant under Frost. They have lost these games. They don't win very many of them. You can name them almost off the top of your head. Northwestern 2019, Illinois 2019, Michigan State 2018. There's not a whole lot of them.
How much, though, because I think this is where a lot of optimists are looking. If, and I know it's a big if Scott Frost truly turns his offense over. So I think there's a lot of skepticism out there about whether or not he's actually going to cede complete control of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does, because I was reading, there was a tweet thread from an old friend of the program. Remember Space Coyote?
Oh, yeah.
He had a tweet thread. It was a short one. But, and if you don't remember, older friends of the program do, but this is a literal rocket scientist.
Yeah,
we found who's on Twitter, who loves Big Ten football and loves the X's and O's of football. So he really studies the X's and O's of football and coaching tendencies and play calling and all this stuff. And we've had him on as a guest a few times in the past. And he is a good follow because, he'll tweet out some screenshots and films and things like that and maybe explain a few things. And he tweeted something out earlier this morning that said, hot take, Scott Frost, Nebraska has been the pinnacle of how to create plays, but not an offense.
Interesting.
And it led to an interesting thread. There was one gentleman in particular where a gentleman asked, he said, well, we've seen 4 seasons with him at Nebraska, and I still don't know what that team's core concepts are. What's their bread and butter? To which our friend responded, yeah, that's my issue. It always feels like they can't hang their hat on anything. Everything has to be designed. Lots of great designs, but at some point you have to be able to just execute, especially in the red zone. That's how you get yards, not points, and high turnovers. So the idea is, when it comes to, designing a cool play,
they've done that in spades.
Frost is really good at it. But when it comes to an overall offensive concept, it'd be the musical equivalent of, he can write one really good hit song, but the rest of the album sucks.
Oh, so you're AC/DC, for example.
Shut up.
They had a few hit songs.
One per
They
album.
weren't good, but they had songs.
Oh, get out.
Sorry.
But that's kind of the equivalent. And that there's no theme, there's no overall thing, and there's nothing you can hang your hat on. Well, that's if, and again, you have to have a little trust here, but if Frost has truly turned the play calling over to, and the play design and the play book to Mark Whipple, if that part gets better, that's part of the reason.
You're hoping for.
That's part of the reason why I'm thinking maybe I need to raise my floor just a little bit. Listen, I still think it's possible they could have a losing season, they could have a bad season, because a lot of what happens with Nebraska is between the ears. A lot of it. And that comes from leadership. But some of the X's and O's side of things that have failed Nebraska, those things have been passed over to someone who does have a concept. I mean, say this about Mark Whipple. He wouldn't have lasted this long in this game at different levels if he didn't have a pretty good idea of what he wanted to do on offense. And if he can stabilize that unstable situation, instable situation that Nebraska's had, especially in the last couple of years, offensively, they can be better.
Not to play devil's advocate to everything.
Well, you can.
But, I mean,
that's your job.
Whipple has not always had a top 5 offense.
No, but does it need to be a top 5 offense?
No, I'm just saying, like, he's had, I mean, we've looked at his floors. Pretty low. It's like the platform. It's going down pretty low. Scraps is what you're getting down there. Now, he's had, near the top as well. Adam writes in.
Now, then to play devil's advocate.
So an angel.
Those are
2 devils equals an angel.
this is such a weird
Isn't it
year
devil just
because
following
unlike his
Lucifer.
because the trend under Whipple was they got better as time went on, whether it was at UMass or at Pitt, right? Their numbers
But
got
year
better.
one was always oof.
But those year ones didn't include a massive influx of new talent through a transfer portal.
A massive influx of unproven talent.
But maybe more at least a little more proven than true freshmen.
Well, yeah, maybe.
I mean, you do have a quarterback who's got a season,
yes.
a season full of experience.
He has proven himself.
Yeah.
I would say he's the only offensive guy who has proven himself so far.
Proven himself so much that
on the field.
They
He's
left
not on
him
the
off.
poster.
They left him off the poster.
Adam texts into 402-951-1620. I don't think it matters whether Frost turns over the offense to Whipple or not. They simply aren't very talented. Couple that with general lack of attention to detail, and here we are at 15-29. So Adam's going off of
not talented?
He's going off of who's at the top.
Yeah, but he also said they're not talented.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think this is a talented roster?
How talented are we talking?
How
talented is talented? Were they talented last year?
I believe they were.
Were they
Yes.
talented in 2020?
I believe they were.
Well, I guess, how talented do you think that they were? Definitely talented enough to win, to go to a bowl game. We
Yes.
agree on
Yes.
that.
Yeah, they have
But
played,
are they like
they have played under their talent.
Definitely.
They have played under their talent.
Definitely.
So I don't think this is a question of talent. It's a question of coaching. It's a question of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's mainly been.
Yeah.
And some of that, not all of it, but some of that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coming up next, we're going to go to Ireland.
Play some Irish music, Nick, as we go to break.
And we're going to talk with Michael Bruntz,
That was a song about Boston.
who I believe
Hope
is...
that guy found his wooden leg.
Now, the rest of the correspondents eventually got there, but I believe Bruntzy
Lyrics.
was first.
He landed.
He was the first with the boots on the ground.
Yes. Yes.
So he gets first dibs, and he'll join us next here on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny and warm into this evening with the temperatures in the 80s. Later tonight, mostly clear skies, drops back to the mid and upper 60s for a low. Expect more sunshine on Wednesday and summer weather, high temperatures topping out in the lower 90s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Brookside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Brookside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 402-671-7777. That's 402-671-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Brookside Medical Clinic now. 402-671-7777.
When cancer hits home, when you need answers and hope, turn to Nebraska Medicine, where cancer care is world-leading and personal. In one visit, you'll meet with the team specializing in your cancer, discover treatments based on your DNA, and the support that makes a difference, like a nurse case manager and multiple locations, so you can always be close to home. For cancer, this is where you begin. Visit nebraskamed.com/cancer.
Home is with you wherever that may be. When it comes to cement fiber siding, you want durability, hail and chip resistance, and beauty. You want James Hardie cement fiber siding. Carp's Complete Home Exteriors is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. Call Carp's today or visit carpsomaha.com.
Businesses all across eastern Nebraska and western Iowa have trusted Host Coffee for their coffee, water, and vending needs. Give your business the whole host of options. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Gonna let that hang out there and dangle.
On 1620, The Zone.
Here's a story of a man named Bruntz who covers Husker sports, boys and girls, like football and basketball, even weightlifting, like front squats and curls. Then one day, good old Bruntz called a talk show, and acting on what they thought was a hunch, John and Josh wanted to start a family. And now we get to talk to Michael Bruntz. It's Michael Bruntz. Michael Bruntz. Now we get to talk to Michael Bruntz.
Live from Ireland. Well, live on tape from Ireland, because you know there's like a 6-hour difference. It's Michael Bruntz of Husker 24/7, who, as we are speaking, is a new citizen of Ireland, at least for the next 5 or 6
Citizen? Congrats, Bruntz.
They didn't tell me that's what happens when you go places. I thought I was just visiting.
How was the flight?
It was chocked full of Nebraska fans, and not surprising. But other than that, it was pretty uneventful. Easy trip.
What did you do? Did you sleep? Did you read? Did you watch? You binge a show? I mean, you're a father, so you don't really have a whole lot of time at home. Did you finally get some Bruntz time?
No, I tried to sleep a little bit. Got to wedge myself in the seat. The older I get, the harder it is to sleep on planes. So it was a little doze and caught up on some podcast listening on the way.
Ooh.
Now we're expecting, well, first off, we're expecting the weather's going to be in the 60s. So it's going to kind of feel like a fall day. At least we anticipated. Is that pretty much normal for this time of year?
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be more, like there is normally more rain this time of year, but it looks almost perfect for Saturday right now. It's like upper 60s and sunny. Like that's like October weather when you're hosting like Minnesota or something like that. That's what it should be, but it's hopefully that holds.
Bruntz, let's just get right to the meat of this game. I'm curious if you think this result will make or break the season, and does a win or a loss, make you change your answer? Like, can they make a season with a win? Can they break a season with a loss?
It's interesting. So I was thinking back to last year and the way that everybody kind of talked about that Illinois game.
Mm-hmm.
It felt that, at least from the players' point of view, it felt a lot more like it was like an all or nothing thing for them. And they talked about it a lot more, I think, than this year's team has kind of talked about the gravity of this Northwestern game. And I don't know if it's because they've maybe learned something from last year or maybe handling it differently, or it's new coaches or what, but I think it is really important for, a good start. And I think, a loss to Northwestern, a team that you absolutely beat the brakes off of last year, I think it's kind of a psyche thing at that point, because you have so many new guys, so a new offense, new coaches, all this other stuff. And I mean, maybe a little bit of doubt creeps in of like, okay, how quickly can this come together? What does this season hold for us? And especially in the context of losing to a team that you really embarrassed last year. So I think it's, extremely important. You kind of have the cliche of like, they're all must wins, but this one feels like you need to be coming back from Dublin on Sunday with some good juju, because I mean, if you win here, I mean, what 6-1 is pretty possible, for Nebraska to start. And, if you don't, I mean, the narrative just changes, and you don't have a chance to really do much to change the narrative the next 2 weeks against North Dakota or Georgia Southern.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7, joining us from Ireland. Have we talked enough in this run-up? And I know this is actual game week, but, with the first game, we always have a little more time to discuss the first opponent. Have we talked enough about the mystery of preparing for Nebraska, especially on offense?
No, I don't. I mean, it's kind of been in the back of the mind. But no, I mean, I think it's, with Scott Frost calling plays, I think you kind of know what you're going to get. You kind of can guess there if you're Pat Fitzgerald, but with
having the same quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, so much new personnel, new quarterback, new everything. That's a big factor. I mean, I know he talked about that a little bit yesterday, that, that first quarter, it's going to be pretty tough. And, I'm sure they've been paying really close attention to fall camp coverage from Nebraska just to figure out who the heck is going to be where or potentially where. I mean, I just think for them and even, for Nebraska's defense, there's a lot of unknowns too. I mean, are you going to see O'Shawn Mathis, Garrett Nelson, and Caleb Tanner out there together? What kind of exotic looks are you going to see? You've got almost a overhauled secondary back there too. So that's going to be a challenge for Northwestern. They're going to have to adjust. And, I think they're, still probably trying to find their identity a little bit too. Cause, I think Northwestern took their lumps last year with a bunch of young guys. And the hope is that those guys that took the lumps make a big leap. And in game ones, you really never know what you're going to get with those guys.
Bruntz, along the lines of the offense, friend of the program, colleague Max Olson of The Athletic, he wrote a story about Adrian Martinez that went up yesterday. And there was one quote in particular that stood out to me as it pertains to this year's Nebraska team. He says, "I don't know if we ever found that consistency for 3 years to be able to run our basic stuff and get good yardage out of it." Your coworker Shape, he's been talking a little bit about that lately. Like, who is the player to go get those yards, whether it's a receiver, maybe even a tight end, or certainly a running back? Do you think that they have those quote unquote basic plays in the playbook this year? And if so, who would be your best bet to be able to pick up those yards?
I mean, it's a question of running back, running game, right? I mean, that's basically what the answer is. Nebraska in 2018 kind of found something the last, 9-10 games of the season with Divine Ozigbo. Mm-hmm. And beyond that, I mean, they really just have not had any kind of consistent run game. And, that's reflected in the use of Adrian Martinez as a runner. I mean, the play calling got really Adrian focused because there wasn't a running game that you could rely on. I think this year, it seems like they have better personnel at running back. I think that Brian Applewhite has been an upgrade in terms of not only who he's brought in, but how he's coached that group. I think he'll probably handle the rotations a little bit better than maybe what they've been in the past. And I think that matters too. So I think that Nebraska should be able to run the ball better with those backs. I think they have backs too that are a little bit more capable of bigger plays. I think an Anthony Grant, I think of, potentially an AJ Allen. I mean, heck, even Jacquez Yant against Northwestern last year looked like Earl Campbell the way he was running around back there. So maybe you find, one of those guys to get those crease runs, but I think they're in a better place to do it than they were before, just because, in some ways too, you kind of don't have Adrian as a crutch anymore either, as a play caller. And it really is going to force you to, I think, dedicate yourself to some kind of running back run game with the personnel that Nebraska has right now.
Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7, joining us from Ireland. On that subject, one of the things that Pat Fitzgerald was quoted on in BC's article on Husker 24/7 was how Nebraska's offensive line last year, quote, really got after us. Now, of course, we all know that this year the line is supposedly coming off the ball harder than they were last year. Would it surprise you if Nebraska tried to run heavy on Saturday?
No, and I think by doing that, you also kind of eliminate the first game mistakes. I just, it's hard enough the first game as a coach, I think, because you don't really know what you have truly when the lights come on. And now you throw in with Nebraska, you're doing it in another country with so many new players, new coaches. I mean, to me, a handoff to a running back seems like a pretty good recipe if you can get some yards on the ground that way. I still think Mark Whipple's going to throw it. I mean, that's in his DNA, but it seems like the kind of game where, Nebraska can maybe get some stuff done on the ground. And, I went back and watched that game from last year again, and that Northwestern just had no clue. And I think part of that was the way that Nebraska really kind of came out and just blitzed them, right from the opening possession. And I don't really recall too many games in the last 4 years where Nebraska's offense has been that aggressive. So, I think you're going to have, a little bit more of a dedicated run game, but I think too, you're going to have to take your shots. And I think, with what Northwestern lost from last season on what by their standards was a bad defense, I think you kind of have to take your shots for some big plays.
Bruntz, which newbie not named Casey Thompson are you most excited to watch? There's been so much written, of course, and said about O'Shawn Mathis. The same thing about Trey Palmer, whether it's one of the new running backs. A couple other defensive linemen. Is there one in particular that you're just jonesing to see on Saturday evening for you, afternoon for us?
I still think it's O'Shawn. That's such a – think back to how big of a recruiting battle that was that Nebraska won for him. And they just have not had, since Randy Gregory, a defensive player that can just go and get the quarterback and demands that much attention from an opposing offense. Randy Gregory used to be double and triple teamed when he was at Nebraska. And, can O'Shawn Mathis be that? Maybe. We'll see. That's what I'm kind of eager to see is how he fits in this defense, whether he can, take another step from what he was at TCU. And also, maybe what he kind of brings on third down, because, Nebraska has, done okay in that area in the past, but, I think they have the personnel led by Mathis to really kind of force the issue on third down a little bit more than they have. Of course, you have to get to third and long, I guess, so you got to stop the run. But I think O'Shawn's probably the top of my list for who I'm eager to see.
Husker 24/7's Michael Bruntz joining us from Ireland. We know why Casey Thompson got the job, but how effective of a team leader do you think he will be?
I think he's going to be pretty calm. I think calmness is a good thing in a quarterback. I think he obviously has a good idea of kind of what that offense looks like and how it should be. I think for a quarterback too, leadership is also just, making smart plays and, taking check downs. And I think that's, one thing I'm eager to see is if we see a lot more of that than extending plays and kind of putting things at risk, which, were kind of hallmarks of the last 4 seasons. But I think he can be a leader. The offensive side of the ball is interesting because there really isn't a lot of loud voices. It's a lot of lead by example guys. So you need Casey, I think, to kind of be a little bit louder. And I don't know if that's necessarily, the way he'll be, but, I think, especially if things get a little bit sideways on Saturday, you need your quarterback to really be kind of rallying everybody. So we'll see if he does that. But, I think the fact that he's such a veteran guy, though, and has seen so many things, I think that at least gives you a little bit of good feelings going into this one.
All right, Bruntz, we began it yesterday with Jack Mitchell, our predictions with all of the regulars. So we already have Sipple's. He didn't join us yesterday because he's a jerk. But we have his. Sipple was 7-5. Jack was 10-2. You are the third. You are the third regular to give us your prediction. And do remember, we're going to be joined by Ferrin in a few minutes. Last year, he was the closest to the record out of all of us. And as John can attest, he seems very confident in his number this year. So where are you going for the 2022 Huskers?
Without the bowl game, right?
Without the bowl game.
Regular
season only.
I will say 7-5. 7.5, if you could have it, would be the perfect number. And I will go with 7-5.
A couple of quick, because we're doing the 10 questions this year.
Yes.
But most exhilarating win will be against who?
On the road against Purdue.
Oh, that would be a good one.
That's a sneaky good one. And most painful defeat.
Ooh.
Friday night in Piscataway.
Oh, I like this. Bruntz is going a little outside the box with both of these.
I like it, Bruntz.
And they would both
that Rutgers game scares me a little bit. Just a little.
Scares John, too, because he's doing overreaction that night. So I don't think he likes hearing that news.
Well, Bruntzy, like I mentioned earlier, we're actually recording this morning our time, but it's mid-afternoon your time. What do you have planned for the rest of the day, and kind of how's your week look?
Well, we've got a couple days of availability starting tomorrow. Afternoon practices, might get around doubling a little bit tonight. I think the key I found is you got to just the first day you got to just power through and stay up as long as you can. So I'm going to go see what Dublin's got to offer tonight. A little dinner maybe.
Fantastic. Well, enjoy the trip. We're going to be watching for all your coverage on Husker 24/7. Thanks a lot for joining us and coordinating this with us, and we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week when it's a normal game in a normal place.
Yes, we'll be talking about North Dakota.
Oh, that's right. It is North Dakota. I'm sorry. I thought it was North Carolina. Never mind. Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7 from Ireland. We will continue with more of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Yes, the infamous Ferrin prediction is still to come. And more as we roll on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Summer is here, and if you have a gotta get it done this year project, trust the official exterior experts of the Huskers, J-Tech Construction. Call them for a free estimate on roofing, siding, windows, or even solar. They're close by with 3 locations in Nebraska, including Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. Need financing? J-Tech offers 0% interest for 60 months. Call 402-261-3682 or go online to yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction, Nebraska's exterior expert.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
For the early risers in Lincoln and Omaha, Saturday mornings join a new congregation. The guys from the Church of the Corn are now live every Saturday morning on 1620 The Zone. Catch Zach, Drake, and yes, even Fitz. Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on 1620 The Zone. Join the choir every Saturday and find out. The Church of the Corn is in session every Saturday morning, 8 to 10, right here on 1620 The Zone.
Kirsten Bernthal Booth with Creighton Volleyball here. The 2022 season has arrived, and we need you in the stands as we look to defend our Big East title. Our 15-match home schedule is one of our best ever. In addition to our tough Big East slate, we are also hosting some of the top teams in the country, including Kentucky, USC, and Nebraska. Don't miss any of the action this season and get your tickets online now at gocreighton.com/buy. Go Jays!
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Oh wait, never mind.
Weird doings in the world of prep football. Of course, Omaha's got 2 new high schools this year, Buena Vista and Westview.
Yes, those are the names.
Yes, those are the names.
I'm okay with one of the names. I mean, it's hard, right? When you have, like, there is already Northwest.
Yeah.
I guess there is not an Omaha West. They could have gone with West. I'm
They
okay with
could've.
Westview.
Yeah, Westview's fine. So is
I
not to
don't
be
know-
confused with Millard West. Not
Yeah.
I have confusion about something myself.
Okay.
The Buena Vista.
Yeah.
Because back home, there's Buena Vista University.
What
in
is a
Storm
Buena
Lake,
Vista?
But then Buena Vista also has a
Isn't Buena
campus
Vista
on
just,
Iowa Western.
Isn't that Spanish for like nice home or
means good view?
Good view.
Oh, Vista view, of course.
Good
nice
view.
view.
But there's already so much Buena, I guess, Buena Vista. There's already so much crossover because there's a Buena Vista campus on the Iowa Western campus.
Isn't it Buena Vista?
Buena. Every time
Des
I
Moines.
say it, people always tell me
Des Moines.
it's the opposite of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
But that's confusing to me because I feel like
Because you're not into good views.
well, there's too many good views.
Well, you
There's
live
a
in
good view
Omaha
that's a
now.
high
You
school
never
that's
have
in
too many
Omaha.
good views.
Yeah, geez.
As
Nick
we're
goes on
seeing in our
vacation.
timeline. Anyway,
Yeah,
we're
what's
missing
going
the
on with it?
story.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Let's get back to it.
But Buena Vista will not play football this season. This is from the story on Omaha.com from Stu Pospisil. In a letter to families of Bison football players, I wonder if is it Bison or Bison?
It's probably that, the latter.
Actually,
With a
anyway,
Z.
we're really getting off track.
Buena Bison.
Buena Bison. In a letter to families of Bison football players, school principal Carrie Carr said the reason is, quote, not enough students are eligible for varsity competition as we begin the year. A roster sent to the World Herald as part of a preseason request for information listed 29 players. Some of those apparently didn't meet the NSAA's May 1 transfer deadline. Buena Vista administrators and coaches were to meet Tuesday night with the school football families. The school was to have played the other new OPS school, Westview, on Thursday. Now it is a junior varsity game. The other opponents affected who will receive forfeits, but they won't get to play a game. Blair, Omaha South, Omaha Bryan, Scott, Ralston, Plattsmouth, Gross, and Crete.
Yeah, and Ralston and South, those were homecoming games.
Yeah.
Now, Travis asked a question. He says, I mean, there are no junior or senior classes there this year. How'd they think they were going to field a varsity squad?
I wonder what was the reasoning behind not having a junior and senior class.
Well, that's how some high schools start, right? Where
I mean, some can. The only experience I have directly is when Lincoln Southwest opened, because my stepson actually transferred in and was a senior at Southwest. So he spent his senior year at Southwest and played on the first football team.
How were
And
they?
so
Were they any good?
They didn't win a game that year.
But he did go walk on in Nebraska.
But he did walk on in Nebraska.
That's pretty cool. He went pro in something other than sports.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, he did. But
That sucks for those
But yeah,
kids.
they had more than enough kids to play ball.
Yeah.
Now,
Man, they went through all that work in the summer. I'd be so mad. Go through all that, and then it's like, hey, you don't have enough players.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, if Travis is right about the no seniors or even juniors, yeah, how were you expect? You're not a bunch of freshmen and soft out there?
And remember, a lot of the kids that were listed on the roster apparently didn't meet the May 1 deadline. So a lot of folks either didn't get their paperwork in time or made a late decision.
Yeah.
You almost wonder if it
Yeah, here it is.
If it would have required, maybe they could have, given them a grace period of a little bit more time.
So Rick sends in a screenshot. I believe it's from the Buena Vista website. It says, "Welcome to Buena Vista High School, the home of the Bison. Buena Vista will open to 9th and 10th grade students in August of 2022. Wow. And by the way, along the lines of the mascot, Aiden says it's always Bison.
Okay.
North Dakota State alumni here. Alumnus.
Okay.
Alum.
It's good to know.
Very good to know.
Very good to know. But we won't have to worry about the Bison, at least on the football field.
Wow, too soon. Too soon.
You know what we should do is, I wonder if we could, well, no, I don't know how you would be able to rework the schedule now with all the teams. I was going to say we could maybe host an extra game over at Roncalli when we join the boys,
Oh, yeah.
They could play a game over there while we're doing the show.
Uh-huh. By the way, real quick, Ferrin's in the green room, so we got to get to him to get to his prediction. But Dan texts in. He says, Buena Vista High School has a good view of the Papio Creek Valley near 60th and L, used car lots, and the Satellite Motel. Yeah, there's a cutesy over there. I used to eat their hot dogs all the time. Plain, Nick. Plain hot dogs. And salt and vinegar chips. Yum.
I used to play Magic the Gathering over that way. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. And on that, I need to take a break because Ferrin's in the green room. We got to read the rest of that comic. We got to talk some baseball. And more importantly, the defending champion says he's got a prediction that's going to blow our minds.
Whoa. Speaking of blowing, we'll also talk about an A's game from this week.
On 1620 The Zone. Josh, tell us about how your great eyesight picked up the action at the A's game.
Hey, you know what? Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Sometimes I say it all the time. You go to a sporting event, maybe, look, you're like my friend John. You have incredible seats. You're right there near the action. Other times, well, maybe you're like Nick. Maybe you're like me. You're near the top of the stadium. I remember I went to a game in Chicago on the south side. That's the bad team, right, in Chicago, John?
Yeah,
the south side.
Those are the bad guys.
Yeah, so I went to the south side stadium, and where did my brother and I sit? Oh, my goodness. We were up in the nosebleeds. This was before I had a procedure done at Kugler Vision. At this time, I had my prescription sunglasses. Of course, I had my prescription glasses. And like I always talk about, it was sunny and then it was cloudy. It was sunny and cloudy. And so I'm switching back and forth. I can barely pay attention. Plus, I'm bored out of my mind because I'm in a baseball game. I don't have that problem anymore. If I'm bored, you know what I do? I probably bring a book and I read it. But at the very least, I can see the action all the way down there on the field, whether I'm in Chicago or out in Oakland. Give them a call today at 402-558-2211. Schedule a consultation. Figure out which of their 7 different procedures are going to work best for you, and enjoy the baseball games on the south side, the north side, or any side moving forward. For Westview as well. It's a Buena Vista for all of us. 402-558-2211 or KuglerVision.com.
1620 The Zone Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, getting reports of stop-and-go traffic if you're headed west on Dodge between 74th and 90th. If you're north on the JFK, the left lane is closed at L Street, causing stop-and-go traffic from Q Street. If you're south on the JFK, traffic down to just one lane at F Street with stop-and-go traffic back from I-80. And then expect about a 10-minute delay if you're on Highway 275. The right lane's closed for both directions between Center and 165th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Hey everyone, it's John with Saul's. Great jewelry is always in fashion, and we have it all at Saul's. From diamond bracelets to rings to earrings and those one-of-a-kind gold pieces that you can't find anywhere else, and so much more. Smart shoppers start here at Saul's.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Sharp Betting in the Morning is back on the road each home game Friday at our good friends Jonesboro's Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village, breaking down the big games and the Husker game. each home game Friday. $6 breakfast entrees. We are there doing the show at Exarban Village. First 20 people that come in and mention 1620 The Zone get breakfast free during the shows. Again, $6 breakfast when we are there at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Plus, you can register, win tickets and prizes each home game Friday. Sharp and betting in the morning on the road at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe.
Enjoy one last taste of summer before it's all gone. Join us at the Kroc Center for Rally Day. This family fun event will feature live music, kids games, food trucks, and much more. It's happening Friday, August 26th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the Kroc Center, 28th and Y Street. Admission is free. All are welcome. Again, join us for Rally Day, Friday, August 26th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. For more details, go to omahakroc.org. That's omahakroc.org.
I wanted to quit for so long, but didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Mike Ferrin, Sirius XM MLB Network Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, now singing the Mike Ferrin Open, it's Mike Stibbs.
Just make sure it sounds sexy, Stibbs.
Lord Almighty, how can you stand Arizona? Your fair skin must be burning down into your absent soul. Mike, 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 we can barely hear you. It sounds to me like you called us from inside a hole. But your phone calls lift me higher, like the ERA of Mark Pryor. Your hair looks like it's on fire. You're Mike Ferrin.
Oh, he hasn't forgotten the reigning and defending undisputed champion of Husker season predictions. Mike Ferrin joins us after a vacation last week. How was your time off?
It was nice, thank you. Yeah, I was up in upstate New York. Drove up to Maine for a couple of days.
I thought you were going to say you were at the upper deck of an A's game.
Not often enough, apparently. There's a similar video from about 25 years ago of Fenway Park experience that was quite similar. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one, John? I'm sure you've seen that one. Josh is probably not old enough to remember.
Yeah.
Is this on the internet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you can find
What would I
it.
search? What would you Google? I mean, you would definitely
Wait, hang on. The chat is private, right?
Yeah, the chat is private.
That's feel free to put it in there. It's not a link. Like,
No, I'm just going to give you something to search instead.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
I think that probably is what's going to do it for you. So,
well, who was it? Was it a what? Was it a Mel Allen story about the old line about, you know, the couple, they were watching the couple in the stands. This was an old radio broadcast, and you know,
I just thought it was Harry. It was the way I heard it. Yeah.
He you know, they're trading kisses back and forth, and the old line was, yeah, he's kissing her on the strikes, she's kissing him on the balls.
Yes. Great moments in broadcast history. How can you not be romantic about baseball?
I don't know. And right now,
that couple in Oakland clearly was.
Oh, they very much were. And in St. Louis right now, they're falling in love with Albert all over again.
Oh, on his way to 700 home runs.
He is, but did you know, Josh Peterson, he has the best OPS in baseball since the All-Star break.
Yeah, I definitely knew that.
And that his OPS plus for a guy of his age is second best all time currently. Barry Bonds.
He was pretty good.
When Barry Bonds was 42.
What's the plus again? Is it a subscription service?
No, it is not. It's not.
It gives you gambling, I think, is what it does.
Oh, nice. That's illegal.
So it compares it to league average is what it does.
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
So it contextualizes for era. So,
okay.
100 is average. And so for every point above, that's how many percentage points above the league average you are. If you're below 100, that's how many percentage points below. So what is Albert? Probably in the 160s, something like that for weighted runs created plus or OPS plus, something like that.
You know what? I don't have the.
It's been really good. Like all the numbers, and it's almost all been done against left-handed pitching with the exception of the double that he had today. It's kind of cool. I mean, like I said this last night.
It's 146.
Okay, so he's basically been close to 50% better than the league average performer. Now, that gives you his overall line. Really, he's been significantly better against lefties. I mean, he's hitting almost 400 against lefties coming into today. He's hitting under 200 against righties. But this heater he's been on is a pretty good reminder of what peak Albert Pujols looked like, and it's cool to see it in the finishing kick. And I don't know what it is about getting to 693 last night, but for the first time this season, I felt like 700 wasn't out of reach. And if he gets there, he'd be just the fourth player to do it. I think there are a lot of people that are pulling for him. I know that there are a lot of people that are pulling for him to hit at least 4 more, so he pushes A-Rod further down in the record books. But it's been incredible. I mean, he now has the second most extra base or total bases of all time, and he's homered. Only Barry Bonds has homered off as many different pitchers as Pujols. It's been cool, and it will be cool, I think, over the last 6 weeks to see him, get this swan song and in the midst of a pennant race, and hopefully with him producing, because it's a great way for us to say goodbye to one of the greatest hitters of all time.
Yes, it's such a story. Even I am rooting for Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Wow.
Along those lines,
but I'm still convinced the Cardinals are possessed by devil magic, and that's why he's able to find this fountain of youth at age 40.
Brett, have you enjoyed it from? I know I asked you recently about Aaron Judge and what it would mean for baseball if he was able to maybe get to even 62 or 61. What is this stuff meant to you, given that for a while, these numbers in particular were really not celebrated, obviously, like they had been when you two were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Albert, I mean, I always wonder how much of the disdain for Bonds was attached to the steroid era in which he played and the subsequent book and investigations and indictment against him for his involvement with Balco and for the perjury that he was indicted for but never convicted, or if it was more because nobody liked Barry Bonds because he was kind of a jerk. Yeah, I mean, I think that played a lot into it. Because he came across that way in interviews, he came across that way to the public, and he just wasn't a very likable character. I think then that helps to drag down, McGuire, who was reluctant, and Sosa, who loved the limelight, weren't perfect people either. And certainly, in the case of McGuire, we have pretty good proof that there is, that he was using PEDs. For Sosa, it's all been speculative, but they were a little bit more magnanimous characters, and that's why 98 resonated much more than 2001. And I think it kind of has obscured exactly how dominant a player Bonds was even in the offensive era that he played in. I mean, what he was doing offensively in 2000 can't really be matched when you compare it to eras. I mean, the 2000 season is incredible, both based on what Bonds did in that year and then also what Pedro did in that year, which is incredible. Like, Pedro had arguably the greatest pitching season of all time when you factor in how high the offensive environment was because of in part because of PEDs, but smaller ballparks and the juiced ball too. So I think there's a lot of different factors in it, but I do think that it did that for a generation. We did take away some of these round numbers, and I don't remember there being a whole lot of attention ahead of Tomey's 600th home run per se, and not because Jim Thome fell into the same categories, but just because it felt like those numbers had been tainted to some degree. I think we've started to recover a little bit. I think Miguel Cabrera has helped with going 500 hits and 3,000 or 500 home runs and 3,000 hits, and I think Albert getting to 700 would do the same thing. It's just such a huge number for such an important player too. It's really remarkable.
Not to turn this into Cardinal talk, but
they're good. So I mean, we probably
they are good, though they are losing right now to your Chicago Cubs 2-0 in the 7th. Jordan Montgomery was in the trade with Harrison Bader. This was one of those years, we talked about this during the trade deadline. We saw a lot of contenders trading with contenders. This was a Yankees-Cardinals swap, sent Harrison Bader to New York. He hasn't played in a game yet, by the way. He's still hurt for the Yankees. But Jordan Montgomery is just the second pitcher in the modern era to go 4-0 in his first 4 starts with a team and to allow no more than 1 earned run allowed over those starts. The only other pitcher is Fernando Valenzuela, who had the magical year in 1981. Could we look back at that move as a turning point in this season for the Cardinals?
Well, I think it certainly lines up with the calendar too. I mean, I think, that they've gone off since the trade deadline and there's been an 8-game swing in the division. Milwaukee hasn't played particularly well. I think they're 3 games under 500, and the Cardinals, now have a 5-game lead. So yeah, I think the Montgomery trade, I think adding Jose Quintana, just stabilizing the rotation there has certainly helped. And then, Pujols has been unbelievable this month, and Paul Goldschmidt leads the league in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage. He's second in home runs, second in RBI. And Nolan Arenado is also having a tremendous year, his best year probably since 2019. So I think there are a number of factors that are in it. But yeah, I think the Montgomery addition certainly was a big one. And they've got one more rehab start left for Jack Flaherty. And if Flaherty comes back and pitches anywhere close to where he's capable of, it makes the Cardinals even more intriguing.
On the flip side of that deal, Giancarlo Stanton is set to come back on Thursday. Yankees offense has been in a slump for a long time, basically the whole second half of the season to this point.
Bummer.
Granted, Stanton by himself, great bat, but what do you think? Do you think that's enough to wake the Yankee offense out of this slumber?
I mean, I think some of the guys are going to start playing a little bit better towards the back of their baseball cards. I mean, I think you've seen that with Benintendi over the last couple of days too. He's swung it better. Judge is obviously, still a force. Stanton coming back is going to help that. Torres, has been pretty good overall. I think that there are a couple of things that just from the natural ebb and flow are going to make them better. But, it's not a great offensive team. It's a really good defensive team. And I think they were a little bit out over their skis offensively coming, through the first 3 months of the season. So this is a little bit of a correction, but Stanton will help. I think the Matt Carpenter injury certainly impacts their balance. And I do think when Bader comes back, if he's able to come back in September, and he's dealing with plantar fasciitis, he's going to upgrade them defensively, and he's actually turned himself into a pretty decent offensive player. So I think that there are a couple of things with the Yankees that you feel like, okay, well, this could get better there, but I don't expect them to be, they're not the homer and strikeout team that they were a year ago. The Yankee fans complained about. I mean, they were off to a great power start that's been diminished, but like if you look at the back half of their lineup, it's like, Trevino and Tyler Falefa and Donaldson, and really only Trevino has good offensive numbers, and that's really cooled off since I think the beginning of June too. So like it's really 3 good defenders in those spots, and they're going to be about run prevention as much as anything. So I think a little bit of an uptick on the offense, finding some certainty in a bullpen that's dealt with a ton of injuries, including Scott Efros, who they just put on the IL yesterday. I think those are things that will end up helping to save the Yankees, but they also are they're still 8.5 games up in the division, right? Like it's not like they're, for all of their struggles and all of that, they still have a huge lead. So I don't think in the end, it's going to end up making a big difference as to whether or not they get the 2nd seed in the American League. I think they will. And then it's just a matter of how you play in those, those 5-game and 7-game series.
Do you give the Rays or Jays even a puncher's chance of coming back and making this a race?
To the division? No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both of those teams are flawed enough that it doesn't make sense. I mean, Tampa Bay is not a great offensive squad, and they're going to be without Wander Franco still for another little while here. Toronto's had some inconsistencies in their pitching, and they're pretty right-handed, and they've got a couple of guys that are having good but not amazing years like they were a season ago. So I think they're both good teams. I mean, they're teams that are playoff caliber teams, but I think at this point, trying to make up an 8-game difference with 40 to play, it's going to be very difficult.
What did you make, Mike, of the news today about the Angels potentially selling? And I'll ask the also obvious question. What does it mean for the best player in maybe baseball history, Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah. Well, he's not wrong. I mean, nobody's done this. Like you have to
thank you.
Martin DeHugo in the Negro Leagues. I don't know why you got such an issue with it, John. You're just
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's because he's so
Be
upset.
as great
the
as you
Cubs
want to
didn't
be.
get him.
How many games do you don't win enough?
Mike, do we need to explain baseball to him that it's not like basketball?
me,
where
it's
if you
about
have,
winning.
If
It's
you have
all
like
about
a
winning.
top 5 player in the sport, you can
John,
win the title. It's not
You're a Cub
baseball.
fan. It has never been about winning for you.
Exactly.
They have.
If you were a Cardinal fan, I might be able to get behind you on that. But no, there's nothing about
the 2 best players in the game, and they suck.
Well, I mean,
How does this happen?
Because they haven't built any depth in the roster.
It's a team game, Mike. It's a team game. I try to tell him every day. He doesn't listen to me.
So a couple things with the Angels sale potentially. I mean, starting with what it means for Ohtani, I don't know. I mean, is a new owner more likely to want to extend him, more likely to want to trade him? You know, are you running into a similar situation like the Nationals ran into with the Soto trade, like new ownership potentially coming in? I don't know. I don't know what that number is going to look like. My guess is that Artie Moreno probably got wind of what the number was going to be for the Nationals and figured, well, we're in Anaheim, but we're going to get more because of our market size. And you know what, the Broncos just sold for $4 billion. I don't think it'll get to that number for the Angels, but I will bet you it's closer to 3 than it is to 2, which is a lot of money for a guy who spent $184 million to buy the team from Disney. So I think those are a couple of factors in it. I think the other thing is that there are some lawsuits against them. There is one that is still fallout from the death of Tyler Skaggs, Eric Kay, who was their former PR director, who has been convicted in the death of Tyler Skaggs. The Skaggs family has been suing the Angels, and the Angels were trying to purchase the land around Angel Stadium to build a 365-day use facility that would have a baseball stadium, but then also shopping and maybe a concert venue and stuff, kind of like what they have in Atlanta right now. And it turns out that ended up being the subject of an FBI investigation because the mayor of Anaheim was giving information to the Angels allegedly that he wasn't supposed to be giving them, that led to his resignation. And so you wonder how much that factors into this too. So I think it's a really complicated issue. I'm not sure what it means for the team on the field. I think there are a lot of Angels fans that are celebrating the idea of this because it has been really 13 years with 1 postseason appearance. I think Artie Moreno has spent on his roster for sure. I think he also has helped to keep the baseball experience affordable with both ticket prices and beer prices. I mean, that was the first thing he did when he took over the team, was lower the price of beer at the Big A. So I think there are a couple of good things there, but I also often caution that the devil you know is oftentimes better than the devil you don't. And so, knowing what you get with Moreno, you don't know what a new owner is going to be like, but it'll be a very, very interesting process to watch over the next couple of months.
Do you think it is better for the sale to go through before we know what happens with Ohtani or after? I mean, you would think a guy like Ohtani being on the roster increases the value.
Yeah.
But then that owner has the instant pressure of being the one
him.
that probably has to keep him. Do you think that there's an advantage either way if the new owner would say, you know what, I'd rather not have to deal with that problem?
Yeah, I think it's I don't know, because I went through the same thing with the Nationals and all the talk of, well, what do you do with the this team that this team that's for sale that has this star level player that maybe isn't is going to cost $400 million or close to it, and does it make more sense to trade him or not? I think that there's probably that similar idea behind this. The difference is that this deal may take much longer than this offseason to close. And then, how are you acting? You may not even have a front runner at that point by the time you get to this winter, and you're going to have to make decisions on Ohtani in the short and long term. So I'm not sure how it plays out. This is all pretty new information. It's just happened in the last few hours, and anything I gave you would be highly speculative on what could or couldn't happen. But I do think, if you want to use history as a guide, watching Washington's sale process is probably a good indication of how new owners would want to react in Anaheim.
We mentioned Giancarlo Stanton a little bit ago. He's not the only big name guy who'll be coming back soon. Mr. Harper is starting a rehab assignment. We already talked about the Phillies, but here they are. They're second in the wild card standings.
I try to tell you about them.
I know. You keep trying to tell me about the
How about the Phillies? They exist.
How many Phillies players can you name, Josh?
Bryce Harper.
Go on. There's 25 more guys. Then.
Well, that's just the
Josh, you should know.
I don't remember his name.
Alec Boehm?
Alec Boehm. Trying to remember the guys. Chase Utley. He played for him at one point in time. He played for him. Let's see.
Why do you even show up on Tuesdays?
McBride.
Because John asks good questions, and then we make fun of him sometimes together. Sometimes. Trying to remember. I know a couple others.
Steve Jeltz.
Steve Jeltz. Ooh, that's a good one. Von Hayes.
Who was
Von
the,
Hayes. Hold 5 for 1.
Who's the guy with the last name Howard? Who's that guy? What's his name? Howard? He was on an episode of Always Sunny. Mac really loved him. Can't remember his name. Either way, baseball.
His name is Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard.
The
That's
same
the
character on The Office was named after him because Michael Schur, who was the showrunner on that, is a huge baseball fan.
Yeah.
So,
before we get to the prediction,
Halladay, R.I.P. pitched a no-hitter in the
before
playoffs.
we get to Mike's prediction,
second ever.
A couple of things. First off, Rick wants to say Mike looks like Inspector Gadget.
It's because of the fan. Yeah, it's my beanie.
And Andy, go Ferrin copter.
I loved Inspector Gadget when
I did too.
Oh, me too. So
I did
It's a good show.
Yeah. But before we get to the prediction, we still have a comic book to
half
finish.
the book.
I don't even know we're going to get to the whole thing. We have to save more even for next week.
I guess so.
I mean, there's like 5 pages left. It's going to be tough for us to get through this.
All right, we'll get through a couple. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, once again for Mike Ferrin's reading room.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow, a reading rainbow, a reading
Realize I had an opportunity to maybe change the open and make reference to Pukegate. Are you familiar with Pukegate?
No, I'm not. Is this are Nebraska football players vomiting because they've been working so hard?
Well,
Kinda
the
nailed
head coach said last week on his radio show that his offensive line is working so hard they were throwing up 15 to 20 times a day.
That doesn't seem good.
Yeah,
That's what we said.
And a lot of people took him to task for that. He had to later retract that and said, well, I was just exaggerating. He wanted to just he just wanted to point out how hard the offensive line had been working.
It worked so hard that I puke.
Yeah.
That usually happens at the bar. That's it worked so hard that I puke.
I've had those nights at the bar. I worked very hard.
Where did we leave off in our story?
Mike, do you know where we are?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, when last we left our intrepid heroes, Matt Davison was thinking, this is not working.
Oh, no.
And he had his head down, and he looked very much like Mike Riley in that drawing, I would say. So so we pick up after the Huskers appeared to quit in a 33-point loss to Minnesota. So
all right, here we go.
On the coming Saturday, Nebraska would be traveling to Pennsylvania to take on Penn State. That same day, Central Florida Knights would be playing against Temple in Philadelphia. In an amazing coincidence, both Moose and Frost were set to be in the Keystone State on the same day. Davison said he could try to set up a rendezvous with Frost. Put it together, Moose said, and keep it under the radar.
By the way, they didn't keep that under the radar.
Yeah,
that
we
got
much
leaked the next day.
Yeah, especially when Bill Moose at the next press conference talked about his love of cheesesteaks.
Love Philadelphia. It's such a fun place.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is not part of the story.
Yeah, keep
Please
going.
continue.
It's good context, though. At the secret meeting between Bill Moose and Scott Frost in Philadelphia, Frost big concern. Nebraska doesn't look like the Nebraska he remembers. I'm assuming that means that there's probably more Applebee's like strewn across the state. Is that what it is?
Well, we used to have a lot of TGI Fridays, and then they all disappeared.
All right.
Too many. It used to be Shoney's, and now look what's happened.
And a lot of our steakhouses served a side of spaghetti and meatballs with their dinner, and you don't get those anymore. Salad bars are disappearing. There's a lot.
One word: Stuckies. Moose assures he wants to restore the program's championship mentality. Frost leaves without a formal job offer, but the interest for Moose in Nebraska is clear. They're waving at each other. The Huskers lose again during a miserable day at Happy Valley, which makes it an unhappy valley, while Frost's Knights continue their conquest of Temple. Temple, which I think went winless in like 5 consecutive seasons when I was a kid. Husker fans of the Temple game have a message for Frost. Scott, come back home. On Monday, Moose calls Frost directly and says he wants to start negotiations with Frost's agent. Frost is very happy. During another dreadful showing against Iowa, Matt Davison finally loses it on the air. It's unbelievable for me to watch this crap. That same day, Frost and UCF win a thriller, stamping their ticket to the conference championship game. That night, NU's John Jentz makes it official, offering the job to Frost's agent. Mike Riley is fired, but stays upbeat and classy to the end. See, he says in his final press conference, I loved the opportunity to coach here.
He really was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy.
Do you want to keep going? There's like 4 pages left. I think we
Yeah,
probably
let's just finish. Might as well.
You want to finish the whole thing? We got a prediction to get to.
You don't want to finish, Mike, or you do want to finish?
No, I think we got to get to.
We got to get to
Okay,
predictions.
fine. All right. Well,
I can't just sit here and play radio with you guys all day.
Yeah, he's got a life.
no, he doesn't. He watches baseball.
Wow.
Let me give you one more here. Orlando TV news anchor Pat Clark, who has a resplendent mustache, has been covering Scott Frost since his arrival at UCF and developed a good professional relationship with him. He watched Frost at his November 27th press conference, fend off questions about the Nebraska job. What matters is these players. Afterward, Clark has another question for Frost. Would he sign some footballs? A casual question elicits a surprising answer. How are you doing, Scott? I don't know what to do.
Oh, now that's a good stopping.
Now that's a good
Whoa, what's
right
going to
there.
happen?
I don't know what to do. All right.
Prediction time.
So last year, Mike Ferrin famously lowballed everybody on our board by picking Nebraska to go 4-8. It got to the point where all they needed to do was beat Iowa.
We were there.
They were 15 minutes away.
They were winning by 2 scores.
And
I
then
watched that one.
Then they lost.
Sad.
But Mike Ferrin still was easily the closest.
Yes, he was.
Thus, he is the reigning champion of our predictions. So far on our board, Jack Mitchell, 10-2. Steve Sipple, 7-5. Nick, 5-7. Mr. Ferrin, what prediction are you about to blow our minds with?
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the Nebraska Corn Huskers will go 8-4 in football this season.
Whoa!
But there's a but. They're going to go 8-4, but it's going to be one of those seasons where their 8 wins are going to be like a combined total of 22 points, and their 4 losses are going to be by like a total of 60. And so, like, what are you going to do? Like, what's the real team, right? You're going to end up giving a contract extension to the coach who wins 8 games and then gets blown out in the Alamo Bowl, but it's going to be the same situation. But they will win 8 games. It's going to be close ones, and they are going to lose to Northwestern on Saturday.
Oh,
whoa.
Wow.
Man, if they lose to Northwestern but still manage 8-4,
that's a pretty good record.
I can't pull against them, but they're going to lose to Oklahoma. They're going to lose to Michigan. They're probably going to lose to Wisconsin. They're going to lose to,
just got to 5 now.
Iowa.
So that's 5.
That's like 3. Maybe they'll beat Iowa. There's going to be like that one upset win in the middle. Like who was Michigan State's head coach that got the 10-year extension before everybody realized that Michigan State had to play 12 games in the season and not 6?
You talking about Mel Tucker?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's
well,
the
they
coach.
had a good year last year. I don't know if you know that.
They were good.
By the way,
For a while, they did the Michigan State thing, which has got everybody excited, and then we're like, down the stretch. Like there will be an upset win in there. It'll be by like 3 points. Like they'll win some close games against some bad teams and get to 8 wins and then get blown out in a bowl game. And Scott Frost will get a contract extension.
Now, by the way, I had graphics built for just about every.
I was wondering if he had told you this off the air.
No, he did not. I just had.
No, he told me he had 10 graphics built.
I did. I had 10 different graphics for 10
So
different
which records
predictions.
didn't you include? 12-0?
2-10, 1-11, and 0-12.
0-12. You even had a 12-0 built.
Yeah, would you like to see my 12-0
Yeah,
graphic?
let's see.
Yeah, I would.
Here it is.
I figured I would get that for
It
8
says,
wins.
Mr. Ferrin says, drunk off my ass I am.
Yeah, I figured that's what the reaction that I was going to get for saying 8 wins, but knowing that Jack came in at 10,
Yeah, he's still
that guy is like, wow, that's a lot of Kool-Aid that he's drinking. So, like, maybe it's better that you don't cover Nebraska football if you're going to root for them.
Perhaps.
Yeah, indeed.
Perhaps. So 8-4 is the pick.
What are you guys going with? Have you revealed yours yet? You have.
No, we're doing it Thursday. Thursday.
I'll give you a hint, Mike. Mine will be closer to you than Josh's will.
Can confirm. Can confirm.
Okay, so you're going at 5 and Josh is going at 3. That is closer to mine. 8-4 for the Huskers this year. They're going to stomp on Rutgers and Purdue.
There it is. Master Ferrin, 8-4. If he's right, man, he will never hear the end of it.
Seriously.
All right. Well, thanks for the time, and we'll try to finish more of the comic next week.
We'll finish it.
And
less baseball, more comic next week. We're promising that to our listeners.
Are you kidding? We're getting to the stretch drive. The Cubs are making a
I
playoff
know this is in the old days, Ferrin. This is when Michael would say, "All right, talk to you later, Ferrin. It's football season."
Yeah. I'm well aware. I appreciate John's commitment to baseball. Also, go Cats.
Ooh. Would you like? Normally you sing the Northwestern fight song.
Go you Northwestern, fight for victory. Words were words. Game today, let's hear a cheer.
Is the first line "Go you Northwestern"? Is that actual?
That's the name of the fight song. Is Go you
But
Northwestern?
this is supposed to be some kind of academic school.
The
What kind
Medill
of a sentence-
School of
What
Journalism.
kind of sentence structure is that? Go you Northwestern.
J.A. Donde runs the school. Ask him.
They have a really good music program there.
Yeah, but apparently they need help with their grammar.
I'm disappointed that you guys aren't going to be in Ireland for the game. How did Stacy not get you a flight for that?
Yeah, Stacy.
Come on, Stacy.
They've done big Ireland overreaction.
Yeah, I did get an email, Mike, before I let you go, from a listener, like right before we brought you on. Tanner said, I just booked a trip to Ireland. Am I going to regret that decision? He booked a trip for tomorrow to Ireland.
At the last minute?
Yes. How much did that guy spend? Holy crap.
I don't know. Why don't you look and see what the last minute flights to Ireland are?
Omaha to Ireland flight. If those are
it's got to be but $2,500.
Well, the one that I'm looking at is 1,000, but it doesn't give me the dates. No, that's in September. Yeah, that guy had to spend way too much money. Way too much money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to hearing Mr. Cat Dave Ennett give the "And the Wildcats beat Nebraska 32-28 in Ireland."
That's not happening.
Ha!
Mike Ferrin, ladies and gentlemen, Sirius XM MLB
Go
Radio.
Cats.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye,
There he is,
Mike.
Mike Ferrin on 1620 The Zone.
See the graphic from Brian?
Oh, God.
Just retweeted it at USC 1620. Yeah. Tanner, I don't know if you want me to tell. He sent me how much he spent. Should I? I mean, his name is Tanner. People don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Say what? $4,000
On a flight.
on the trip. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, indeed.
You could get into the North Dakota game for $30 as of last week.
By the way, Lance says that the U is a literal U. I think it stands for the U stands for university. So go University, Northwestern.
Go you North.
U of or you.
Not
Northwest.
buying it. Bad
I think it was
grammar.
a
Bad
syllable
grammar.
I think it was a syllable decision.
We'll be back in a moment with more, including Mitch Holtis still to come.
Nice.
On 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everyone. Josh Peterson here for my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. You know, a lot of the friends, whether it's of the Grum, maybe your friends themselves, they are overseas. They're in Ireland. And Ireland, of course, known for their golf courses and what they have to offer over there. One of the coolest parts about the Top Tracer building at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis is the ability to play virtual courses from all around the world. Give them a call today at 402-498-0220 and book a virtual tee time for any time. You can be there. You'll be nice and covered and comfortable no matter how hot or cold it is outside. We, of course, were going in and out of that building when we were there last Friday and got to see what the setup is like for the food, got to see what the setup is like for the drink options, and, of course, all of the virtual golf that you can play. Speaking of that virtual golf, they have a Monday Night Football League taking place this October through December. Sign up today at miraclehillgolf.com/store. Give them a call at 402-498-0220. The days, friends, we still have plenty of sunlight. The temperatures, cool and comfortable, or at least cooler and more comfortable than they were in the heart of June. All of those options, plus lessons, you can get fit for clubs, and a whole lot more. They have it to offer to you if you are a fan of golf. They're located just north of Dodge on 120th Street, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny and warm into this evening with the temperatures in the 80s. Later tonight, mostly clear skies. Drops back to the mid and upper 60s for low. Expect more sunshine on Wednesday and summer weather. High temperatures topping out in the lower 90s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, traffic is currently stopped on the southbound JFK, starting at F Street going all the way to the eastbound I-80 split. Avoid that part of the southbound JFK if possible. If you're north on the JFK, the left lane is closed, causing stop-and-go traffic from Q Street to L Street. And then if you're headed east or west on Highway 275, about a 3 to 5 minute delay between Center and 165th, with the right lane closed for both directions. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Through September 12th, buy a Nebraska Lottery Powerball with Power Play ticket and enter the voucher number for a chance to win a trip to New York City and a shot at $1 million. Powerball top prize odds, 1 in 292 million.
The Ford truck lineup is purpose-built from the ground up, designed to be tough and productive. Crafted with high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body and torture-tested high-strength steel frame with new tech to help you work smart and hard. The F-150, Ranger, and Maverick are built tough and ready to tackle whatever lies ahead. Hit the road in confidence and learn more about Ford trucks in-store or online anytime at WoodhouseFord.com, your trusted truck dealer since 1975. Woodhouse Ford.
At Dingman's Collision Center, you voted them first place in Best in Omaha for the past 17 years. So they want to say thank you for choosing the Dingman family and their incredible technicians to repair your vehicles. At Dingman's, they'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
They say to never mess with the classics, but Panera did just that and more with our new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. By using pan-seared chicken, our secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisps, and pickle chips, all on a buttery brioche roll. Because if no one messed with the classics, you never have a chicken sandwich this good. New Chef's Chicken Sandwiches from Panera. Only $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit PaneraBread.com/delivery info.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is to Cops. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, tasty charred wings, sandwiches, pastas, and steaks. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. For the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center or 180th and Center.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
I can only keep track of rednecks when they have a number on the side of their car.
On 1620 The Zone.
A text, John, to 402-951-1620 from Hayden.
Hayden
says
Christensen?
Nice. Says, speaking of predictions, I'm going with 10-2.
Put it on the list.
Nebraska loses at Purdue and at Michigan. I don't know where this Kool-Aid came from, but I have a good feeling about the special teams helping the team to win games rather than costing them games. 10-2.
Get the X.
Wow. Get the
Well, you joined the 26.8% on our poll question right now that are saying 8-4 or better. And that's where Ferrin is. He's in the 8-4 or better crowd.
Positive boy. Yeah, you went up to write his record prediction on our board, and you actually started writing 4-8. You had to correct yourself.
Well, that's because 4 and Ferrin was like the battle cry at the end of last season, and so it was just stuck in my head.
By the way, Tanner has also followed up. The price that he sent was going to Chicago, then to Dublin, round trip, and hotel for 2 people. So that whole price, the hotel was built in as well. Because we did get a screenshot from tweeting from 30,000 feet, where it is a $1,620 round trip.
I see.
Even if it's an airplane, it's
Still AM radio from Kansas City. So, John, if you want to spend $1,620, you could head out tomorrow, I think, maybe Thursday.
No.
Wow, sad. You could probably crash with Bruntz.
$1,620 the flight.
What if you got there?
No.
You were like, hey, Bruntz, come pick me up.
I have
I'm
a friend
sleeping
in
on your
Ireland
floor.
who would just be cool if you just showed up, probably.
I don't think Nick has a friend in Ireland.
Is it one of your video game buddies?
No, John, it's one of my Twitter buddies.
That's not a friend, Nick. It's just someone you follow on Twitter.
We've talked. Friend was the wrong word. Acquaintance.
He
acquaintance.
lies so easily. You see that
does.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Laundry. Now, friend. What's next?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of Irish,
Bamboo in the election paper. I don't know what you're going to say.
Speaking of Irish, did you see some of the details from John Arand of Sports Business Journal, who found out in his story? He said if Notre Dame joins the Big Ten within the next 7 years, which is the length of the new TV contract, CBS, Fox, and NBC know exactly how much extra they will have to pay in rights fees. That specific dollar figure, which is not publicly known, is spelled out in the contracts. So they actually have a clause where the name Notre Dame shows up.
Dame.
And it says, if they join our league, you now have to pay this much. It won't be something where they go back to the table and renegotiate. It's something where this will be the new price. By the way, if anyone else joins, let's see. I thought there was something in the story.
Yes, there is. Let me find it.
Yeah,
Notre
if the
Dame,
Big Ten were to add any other team, the networks have to agree to have good faith conversations with the conference about opening their deals and adjusting their rights fees. So with everybody else,
cool, we'll
it's
do
a
it.
negotiated deal.
Yeah, exactly.
But with Notre Dame, it's a hard and fast deal. According to John Arand, Sports Business Journal, having a specific number attached to Notre Dame provides the conference and the Fighting Irish with some certainty for the value of their rights if the Irish do decide to join the Big Ten. So interesting. Can Notre Dame then take this information and use it to say, this is what we are worth? There's another contract that does not involve them at the current time. That says, hey, we're going to be worth this much more money to each of these networks if we join this conference, which thus means we're worth this much money.
John, think of it. One of those networks is the network that they are already in agreement with.
My guess is that, obviously NBC knows what the number is because it's their contract.
If you're NBC,
but you don't want Notre Dame knowing that number,
because you.
But I got to imagine they probably know the number.
I'd be surprised if they didn't.
And if they don't, they probably have ways of finding these things out.
Yeah.
I would be very curious to know what that number is.
I'd love to know what that number is.
Because
is it more than 75 million?
If the number's less than 75 million, then NBC could look at Notre Dame and say, well, you're according to this, you're worth this much.
Okay, let me ask a quick question. I know we have Mitch. Is Notre Dame worth more in a league where they every year are playing some combo of Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Penn State, all the schools? Are they worth more in that, or are they worth more on their own where they get a few of those schools, but also Tulsa? They'd probably be worth more with the big dogs.
Well,
you get a guaranteed Notre Dame versus Michigan, Ohio State, USC, and I know they already play USC every year, but that seemingly would be worth a lot. Interesting.
That is a very interesting contract, to say the least. Coming up next, Mitch Holtis, the voice of the Chiefs, on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Life is all about choices. Veggies or meat, sleep in or hit the gym. Luckily, choosing Cox Internet over the competition is easy. With Cox, you get the same fast gig speeds everywhere. With the competition, you don't. That's easier than deciding to pack a swimsuit for the water park. Get Cox today, the no-brainer choice for fast and reliable internet. Download speed up to 1 gigabit per second, requires DOCSIS 3.1 modem with 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet port. Not available in all areas. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed.
It is Big Red Friday, August 26th at McDonald's. You'll score a limited edition Husker flag for just $5. You're looking for a good cause? The proceeds benefiting your local Ronald McDonald House. That's a good deal. Those families, they go through enough. We want to take the burden off of those families by supporting the Ronald McDonald House. Should a Husker fan like you need a flag? Absolutely. Stop on out. It's Big Red Friday, August 26th at your local McDonald's.
Celebrate Septemberfest, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 5th outside the CHI Center. There are games, carnival rides, and food, plus clowns, robots, and a KCBC barbecue cook-off. Friday, there's Omaha Fight Club boxing on Saturday, and epic music all weekend long, including Shoot to Thrill on Sunday. Monday, it's the Labor Day Parade through downtown at 10 a.m., along with the All-American Car Show. Septemberfest at CHI Center, Lot D. Click septemberfestomaha.org for times and parking info.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton soccer kicks off the season this Thursday with doubleheader action at Morrison Stadium. Women's soccer takes on UMKC at 3 o'clock p.m., with men's soccer facing off against Oakland at 6:30 p.m. Get your tickets online right now at gocreighton.com/tickets.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Shop Lanaha's Garden Center for the best selection of fall color and seasonal decor. Mums, pumpkins, unique gourds, and more. Think fall, think Lanaha Nurseries. 192nd and Center.
The best part of your summer night is listening to Royals baseball on 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
And now, a Kansas City Chiefs training camp update brought to you by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every eye. And now, fresh off the salad bar from one of Hy-Vee's over 240 locations, the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, Mitch Holtis.
Touchdown, Kansas City! I love it a lot as far as like having a lot of DBs on the field to, you know what I'm saying, because I know it's the passing league. So having all the DB on the field, be able to, you know, drop in certain areas where a linebacker may not be able to drop as fast as, you know, as a DB. But I think at the end of the day, we're all doing the same job. So it might be a DB coming in doing the same thing a linebacker might be doing, but having a more skillful body to get the job done and not down, especially depending on, you know, what receivers now running 4.2s, 4.1s. So we got to try to match speed with speed. That's all it really is. But definitely a great thing for our defense.
Somebody on that Chiefs roster played in the college football playoff last year, but he didn't come from Alabama. He came from Cincinnati. Brian Cook, rookie safety for your Kansas City Chiefs. The voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, brought to you by Hy-Vee, official grocery partner of the Kansas City Chiefs, joins us. How is the Rook looking in camp?
Very, very nicely. He is a scheme fit, boys. He is the rookie that not enough people are talking about who could make a large impact, mainly because the Chiefs play so many three safety sub packages, whether it's nickel or dime, 5 or 6 DBs. They just put a lot of safeties on the field. Last year it hurt him. Tyrann Mathieu did not have a good year. Dirty Dan Sorensen was nearing the end. Thornhill wasn't the Thornhill of this year. Cook is smart, tough, fast. He'll knock you into next week. He's a good run defender when you've got to be in that extra safety look. So this is a sneaky pickup by the Chiefs, and he's been even better than we thought that he would be at this point.
Mitch, you know, we spent a lot of time the last couple of weeks talking about various cut dates and this and that. I wonder, as this week unfolds every year ahead of the last preseason game and all that entails, what is it like for you, given the relationships that, you know, you're able to form and just also knowing the battles that are you know, happening for the roster spots?
Honestly, it's in many ways, it's the toughest time of the year. I actually talked to Coach Reed about that today, and Josh, you never get used to it. You just don't. Today, the Chiefs, next 2 days, they made 5 moves. Most surprising one just a little bit ago was Derek Gore goes on injured reserve with a thumb injury. He's done for the year. So that puts Ronald Jones Jr. back on the stove with the other guys. But I'll just give you an example. So Brandon Danridge was a long shot to make the team at cornerback. But for whatever reason, his mom ran into her at training camp, and she was just asking all these questions. He's a Kansas City kid, played Blue Spring South. I didn't know her. I didn't know him. And he played at Missouri Western in St. Joseph. And she was just so inquisitive, like so hopeful. So I was trying to be nice, like, man, it's a long shot, but I didn't. And then he gets let go. And I'm thinking, what's their night like last night? So it's an excellent question. I appreciate you asking it. I never get used to it, and it's always difficult. And it just goes into warp speed next week when there's like 600 guys or more cut into cyberspace.
Well, there may be another decision coming relatively soon with someone who would have made the roster this year, but Blake Bell, who got hurt in the first preseason game against the Bears, today, Andy Reid announced that Bell had surgery on that hip flexor injury, which now puts his season certainly in question.
It does, and there are options here for the Chiefs. And one is they've got to kind of just figure this out, see how he responds to the surgery, see what the orthopedists say and the trainers say, because you could put him on IR, that ends his season, or you could put him on the 53-man roster. He makes the cut next week, a week at this time, and then you put him on what's called injured reserve, designated a return, and he could come back in a 6-week period and then still replace his position on the roster. But you can't use that prior to the cut to 53, or teams that have 20 guys on that roster or on that designation. And then the third option would be I guess those are the two main options. The other one would be just to put him on the 53, hope he gets back quicker than people might think, and then just make him inactive until he's healthy. But it really seems to me like option number 2 would be the most likely play at this time, to put him on injured reserve, designated to return.
So what do we have to look forward to tomorrow in our Wednesday report, which will be the day before the Chiefs' next preseason game against Green Bay?
I asked you guys if the Huskers played Rutgers, and Isaiah Pacheco had a touchdown against the Huskers in a balmy, 2-degree game.
Very cold.
Yeah, it was a blizzard the night before.
So I'll ask you to just prepare. Don't answer it. We'll do
Okay,
it tomorrow. Purdue versus Nebraska and George Karlaftis.
Oh,
tomorrow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Get ready for that one. Give you all night to prepare for it. And we'll talk about Karlaftis, who, of course, has taken the world by storm here in this training camp and in the preseason with 2 high-energy sacks in 2 games.
All right, that'll be tomorrow with Mitch, and our Chiefs training camp updates brought to you by Hy-Vee. Mitch, thank you much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you, fellas. And thanks, Josh, for the question. You never get used to it, man. It stings. It's just part of the deal, but never easy.
It's a great
Thank
point.
you, Mitch.
It's a great point, because you can, especially when you get it, with Mitch, he gets to be with the team the whole time during training camp, so you really get to know everybody.
Yeah, and you think about it too, like as fans, we are starting to get really excited because this part of the offseason is almost over.
Mm-hmm.
So we are getting pumped. We can't wait to see what the final roster is. And I don't know, as a kid, I felt like I viewed the athletes as one thing, almost just like, well, they made it to the pros. They're darn near perfect at football. And the older you get, and then you get older than players, or in your case, way, way, way older than current players. And you just, realize they're humans and they have relationships and they have families and all that stuff. So yeah, I always think about that when we get to this time of year. Once again, as excited as I am for what's about to come.
You know what we haven't done in quite a while? And it's probably a good thing, because, we really, 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 really got tired of talking about it. No, not the $5,000
taking a knee.
Formula Friday.
Not the $5,000
we got tired of that
ultimate
really
tailgate,
fast,
which,
yeah.
by the way, you can win right now. But if you're already on 1620 The Zone watching us in the stream, during the break, go back to open up another browser, go to 1620thezone.com and register to win the $5,000 ultimate tailgate. But you know what else we haven't done in a while?
What's that?
The NIL today.
No!
Oh, You can bring up the audio. I thought you already had it up.
Why would
I'm
I just
sorry.
have it up by default?
Well, because it's cool for moments like this. The NIL today.
Man, Nick, you were beardless.
I sure was.
You were
There's a reason I
beardless.
grew the beard.
Yeah.
Did you see that
See, share about this?
Hooters?
I did. Well, I know about John Daly's kid. Is this about that?
Is this about the name
Hooters
change?
announced yesterday it has signed 51 college football offensive linemen to NIL deals. The chain
Nice.
signed different offensive line groups rather than individual athletes. They have affiliations with players from Auburn, LSU, Oklahoma, Miami, Missouri, A&M, among others. The chief marketing officer for Hooters in the press release said, for decades, the physical play, blue-collar mentality, and on-field leadership of the offensive line has shined. But national praise and attention for these crucial players has all too often been sidelined. We want to change the narrative and celebrate these elite student athletes who play a pivotal role in making college football so thrilling and give them their fair share of the spotlight.
I've always wanted more wing places to do the wings like they do there, where it's breaded and sauced.
Mhm.
It's like fried chicken and then sauced up. I'm a fan.
Do you think that maybe the 15 to 20 vomits comment maybe cost the pipeline their chance?
Oh no, that'd be
Hooters
a bummer.
Hooters didn't want to sign
we
the
don't
brand.
wanna-
Well, these guys, they got weak stomachs. Might not be able to handle our hot and spicy wings.
Yeah, that'd be a bummer. Yeah, we don't want them to not be able to handle that.
I have not had Hooters wings in a long time.
The last time I had them was the day of Nebraska's last participation in a conference championship game. That was where we went. You saw me at the end of the night
Yeah.
in 2012. That was where we began our day. We began our day there. We had a quick bite to eat, and then we went over to whatever the place was that we were there.
Yeah,
Tilted
it was
Kilts?
that. It was the vacant
Yeah.
upstairs at Tilted Kilt.
Yeah, I think that was opening later, and so we were like, let's go eat some lunch first, and
Yeah.
then we went over there. That's the last time I had it. So it's been, in 3 months, a decade. It's been a decade.
I wonder how many people who are still triggered by the concept of the breastaurant.
Is that what they
Hooters.
call them?
Oh yeah, some people would derisively call them breastaurants. You know,
Mm.
because I don't know if you know this, but
Oh, I've been there.
The
yeah.
waitresses.
Yeah, I've seen this, and I've heard
If, if anyone is out there triggered by this, that
I'm sure
why are
they're-
they getting involved?
John, people are triggered by everything. You can be triggered by
I
everything.
will remind folks that for about 35, 40 years, and there was a great story about it in The Athletic.
Breasts.
Playboy magazine used to do All-American teams.
They
And
did.
literally fly the players that they selected out to Hughes Mansion.
That's pretty. What
to
a
do
time.
photo
They
shoots.
should bring that back. What a time to be alive.
I saw somebody say that there should be a compromise with Hooters, and they also have like shirtless dudes
There you go. Well,
walking around.
Yeah, we got a message.
I
Was
don't
it a-
want to. I do not want to.
Yeah, right.
If I'm eating my wings, I do not want to see shirtless Josh.
Zach's. Well, you'll see me running around.
Well, I mean,
shirtless.
they'd be like ripped shirtless dudes, John.
Well, they'd be linemen, though, Nick. And Zach says, so are the old linemen going to serve wings at their restaurants while wearing those outfits? I would put money on that happening. I bet that's going to be a part of the bit, is you'll see the players in the shirts.
They'll
and
be all Magic Mike'd.
Their bellies will be hanging out. I don't get that reference, Nick, because I've never seen it.
A little bow tie.
Don't get the reference. I apologize.
Shirtless bow tie.
I mean, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Jordan says, Josh goes to Hooters for the wings, just like some people subscribe to Playboy for the articles.
I don't think Playboy.
Just like them battered and buffalo eyes. That's all I'm saying, folks. Tasty.
They are tasty.
Plus,
At
they
least
have
the last
curly-
time I
they
had
have
them, it was a long time ago.
They have the non-seasoned curly fries, which more places should do.
They do.
I like the curly fries.
They
Get
were
a big
the-
old bowl of curly fries.
They were the original curly fries that drew people to
and that was why
extracurricular
I-
activities.
yes, like our friends next door.
Yeah.
I had Goldberg's today. I had a salad for lunch. It was good.
Yep.
Indeed.
Excellent. The happy hour is next.
It is indeed.
And still to come, we also have Don Munson, the voice of Clemson. Tigers had an off year last year, but they're still number 4 in top 25 teams in 25 days.
I have a take that it might be a little spicy, like spicy wings at restaurants.
Okay.
Along those lines, Steve says, I'm sorry, but Hooters isn't good. Only communists like breaded hot wings. Wow. Communists. Sometimes you just want to do something a little different there, Steve.
I don't have a problem with bread.
I like charred wings. I'm going to have some on Friday. I like fried wings. And occasionally, though it's been 10 years, I like the battered wings that are fried and then sauced. I like them all.
They're all delicious.
Big wing guy.
I love wings.
I
love.
do too.
Wow. I don't realize I do apologize. Has cancel culture come from liking wings now too?
Cancel
Is
culture
this what you're doing to me, John?
What's this we stuff?
You stop canceling people, John?
Yeah, John. Jeez, let me eat my wings in peace. Steve's he's older than me, and he's older than you. So
Gen Xers keep trying to cancel things that we like.
Yeah, seriously. Can't eat wings anymore. This is unreal.
I think you guys are getting this backwards.
Unreal.
On 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, we've got a crash on eastbound Highway 370 at 72nd, causing significant delays through there. Also a crash on Ames Ave at 60th, slowing things down. If you're south on 480, stop-and-go traffic between I-80 and the JFK. If you're north on the JFK, stop-and-go traffic from Q to L Street. And if you're south on the JFK, traffic is stopped, starting at F Street, going all the way back to I-80 because of traffic down to one lane. Avoid that part of the southbound JFK. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Everyone knows Saul's pays top dollar for your gold, but Saul's pays cash on the spot for your precious metals too. Silver, gold, platinum, coins, bars. Who wants to wait to get paid? Get to Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Saul's Jewelry and Loan. You'll find it all at Saul's Jewelry. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone.
United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and America's largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies through our many varied programs, including free safety equipment donations, free officer survival training, cash donations, and condolence letters to the family of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty. USDSA also offers college scholarships for the dependent children of law enforcement, along with the Citizen Awareness Program and thank you cards to law enforcement. These are just some of the ways United States Deputy Sheriff's Association assists America's law enforcement and the citizens they serve. For more information about United States Deputy Sheriff's Association or to see how you can help, visit www.usdeputy.org. United States Deputy Sheriff's Association, taking training to the next level because lives are on the line.
Hey everyone, Josh and John here for the FanDuel Sportsbook. Week 0 is days away, and right now new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed as the college football season begins. Just place a $5 bet and you can get $150 back as long as you use our promo code 1620. Look, maybe you're afraid to take Nebraska minus the points versus Northwestern. John, that's why you got totals. That's why you got prop bets. That's why you have same-game parlays. All of it available on the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Just look for that SGP logo, and that indicates a same-game parlay opportunity, a chance to win big on the same game. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app today, sign up with our promo code 1620, place a $5 bet, and get $150 in free bets guaranteed. That's promo code 1620. 21 plus in President Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a pro.
Throw.
From your mom.
The happy hour is on the air. One day closer to the start of Husker football season. And a reminder, of course, all of this is part of Red Out Week, brought to you by Union Bank and Trust, where your money has people. Thursday, Break the Curse event.
Oh!
Haymarket Park. Jack Mitchell has just informed us that the Husker alumni band will be there. They're going to pop by. So there'll be music before the music.
That is so cool.
Any requests, Josh?
Oh, this
We
is
should
going
get
to be
them out right now.
awesome. This is going to be awesome so that each one of these Nebraska band alums can personally walk up to Josh and tell them what they think of him and his horrible takes about the university band of which they are alums.
Well, I know
this is right here is worth the price of admission, which by the way is
it's free. Well, here's the thing. I know some of them will get close to me, some will be a little bit further, and some will be way far away because their lines ain't straight.
Here we go,
Fix
folks.
your lines, marching band.
If you're nice
I
to him,
can't
Josh, they might
encourage
play a
you enough.
podcast for you.
I can't encourage you enough to be there at the Break the Curse event because we think that we can end the curse that has befallen this program over the last 20 years. And for an added special bonus, you'll get to watch the band beat up Josh.
They band nerds can't take me. Nerds.
Band nerds tougher than book nerds.
That ain't true at all.
Because they have instruments they can use.
I'll run away from them. They can't catch me. Hey, let's go for a marathon there, bro. I'll whoop their asses.
Oh,
on
so
the trail.
you'll out speed walk them is what you're saying?
Wow, out speed walk.
And then Friday
from
11 to 1.
11 to 1. He'll be there from 10 to 2.
Right. All of us are getting together at Oscars. And when I say all of us, the morning show, our program, Connor will already be there. We'll be at Oscars at 172nd West Center for our power lunch, or G5 Summit, as I like to call it.
I'll even be producing it back here for a couple hours.
Oh, man, Nick, that's so cool. Sorry you won't have wings.
Bring me some pizza, please. Bring me some za, please.
Maybe I'll bring you a single slice.
Slice of za?
Yep.
So
They do
if you're
their
looking for
square
lunch
cut.
plans,
Goat.
Kansas City style.
if you're looking for lunch plans Friday, join us at Oscars,
Yeah.
172nd West Center.
Yeah.
And it's the first time all of our shows have been, well, since Connor was here, it's been like 8-9 years.
It was since, I got this gig. 2014 was the last time we did that.
Yeah, where
And,
we did a power lunch with all the shows
yeah.
coming together.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's been too
that'll be
long.
Friday, and that's all part of Red Out Around the World in 80 Days, weekish, brought to you by Union Bank, where your money is.
The Red Out Boys.
The Red Out Boys. Nice, Nick. A few tweets coming in. Shang Ping Appreciation Club says, can't wait to be at the event Thursday. Hearing a lucky winner will get Rabdo to commemorate the Nebraska season. Is this true?
No.
One lucky
No.
fan, you get Rabdo.
No.
Oh.
No.
Alan says, I was going to complain, but I feel this radio program, Alan, is much more equipped for band takes, actually. Yeah, I certainly am. Nick, how do you feel about the Nebraska band?
I like all bands.
You dork.
I like music.
I know you like music, but how do you feel about the job that the Nebraska band does at being a marching band?
Well, they do it better than I could, Josh, and I know that that's their lane.
You can't. If you use that as a reason for anything, you can't complain about anything.
I just know that everything has its own trials and everything is hard in its own way.
Wow.
I think they do a fine
I had a
job.
lot
and
of
they've
always
always done
said
a
positive
fine
things about
job.
Trump. I couldn't be president, so
Oh,
I
no,
guess-
he was garbage.
Oh, okay. More tweets. Brian says, when will Casey's Convenience Store sponsor Casey Thompson?
Let's go.
Right?
Iowa's very own.
Well, you know what
The
Casey's
store,
could
not-
do? They could come out with their own poster of Casey Thompson, which would be better than what the university did for their starting quarterback.
Zach says, no offense, but to see someone in the band and a cross-country runner fighting, that might be worth admission.
Yes!
Again, they can't catch me, man. They too slow.
I'm sure
can't
there's at least one band member that can outspeed walk.
I bet you need leg strength to lug a tuba around.
Yeah, it's
you definitely need leg
Nick,
strength.
it's one thing to walk, it's another to run.
Yeah, but if you took the tuba, it's like weight training, right? You take the tuba off, they have strong legs.
That's not how it works. But if they want to challenge me to a race, if anyone wants to challenge me, minimum of a 5-mile race on Thursday, we can do a 5-mile race together. I'll bring my running shoes.
400 sprint.
Now, see, I would probably lose that. I'm not quick fast. I'm long fast. So
he's a speed walker. He's not a runner.
Whoop your ass too, John.
Well, I don't claim to be a speed walker.
You do walk though.
I do walk with my dog.
Yeah.
Who is still pooping twice every walk. I mean, she just
way to be regular, Wrigley.
Yep. She's very regular.
Got her coffee in the morning, got her poop at night.
She is very, very, very regular in the morning. We joke, Casey.
About Casey not being on the poster.
Casey not being on the poster.
Yeah.
It's starting to be a not so secret that he's not the most popular guy in the locker room.
You think so?
Yeah.
Are people discussing this
they have.
on the streets?
They have. And I asked the question of Bruntz. He obviously wasn't elected a captain, and you don't have to be a captain if you're the quarterback of the football team. Scott Frost was famously not a captain.
Tommy Frazier
was not the captain.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a captain if you're a quarterback. But how effective a team leader will Casey Thompson be? He's very confident. They love his abilities. He says he's developing some pretty good chemistry with some of the guys, some of the wide receivers. But how effective in a team leader can he be this season? And by the way, famously, it's not like Tommy Frazier was the most popular guy on the team back in the day.
Correct.
But
they respected him, though.
But they did respect him.
That's, by the way, that's not me saying they don't respect Casey. I'm just saying they respected that dude.
Also, that team was, well, T. Frazier had some reputation because he'd already done a lot as a player at Nebraska and had already proven some things. And Nebraska was on the cusp of doing some really great things.
Mm-hmm.
This team is in a much different situation where you've got a whole host of new folks blending with existing players.
Yes, that's the thing.
And, there's a lot riding on his shoulders on this season. How effective a team leader can he be? I don't know if it's been discussed enough in this offseason. Everything we've talked about has been from, the physical attributes.
Yeah.
And from a playing the game perspective, the mental attributes. But not so much, does he have the respect of the guys in the locker room? Does he have the respect of the guys in the huddle? There's famously 4 captains. 3 of them are defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of Bruntz's answer was, there's not a lot of loud voices in that offensive room. One way or another, whether you're a captain or not, your quarterback does have to take command, particularly in those moments where things get stressful. Does Casey Thompson have the gravitas to command that huddle when things get to crunch time and when people are champering and saying, hey, I'm open. Is he going to be the kind of guy to just walk in there and say, all right, everyone shut up. Listen, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because I always wonder, given that I didn't play high school football. I played Little League football until I was a freshman, but I didn't play in high school. I never played on varsity. I don't believe you played on varsity.
No.
Certainly never played in college.
No.
So I never got to the point, where leadership qualities like that were actually a thing. I mean, I'm sure we had quote unquote leaders on the team, in 8th grade and below, but I don't really remember any of that. And so I always wonder how much of it comes down to winning, how much of it comes down to respect that is earned immediately. Like, for example, Tom Brady was able to walk into the Bucs locker room, new teammates, new coaches, immediately demand respect. And I imagine that he was a leader. He scheduled off-season workouts when he shouldn't have, when it wasn't allowed in the NFL because of COVID. And he did that. And I'm sure that immediately a lot of players followed him. Why did they follow him? Well, because he's Tom Brady. He's a winner. He's a proven winner. He wins championships. And look, it ended up showing itself that season. They won another Super Bowl. Casey Thompson, different. What is he as a starter? I believe 4-6 is the record for him as a starter. Got some good numbers, in terms of singular stats to point to. But he is not obviously a Tom Brady. He's not even a Caleb Williams, going from Oklahoma to USC. So, like right now, like the idea of leadership, true leadership being formed in August or July or June or May or April or March. I always wonder if that's something like it's just a lot of planting of the seeds, and it doesn't really grow though until you get to September, until you get to October, when it's a game, and then you can demand something, but you also perform yourself. And that's the thing that I always come back to is you read about players or you hear players talk about that where you're almost given permission to do so. Tommy Frazier, again, kind of given permission. He might be a jerk, but look, if he says it, it goes. Why? Because he can back it up himself.
Yes.
Tom Brady can back it up himself. And that's what the really great leaders are able to do. It's not rah-rah speeches. It's not yelling. It's not even making demands. It's I'm giving my all. I'm giving every ounce of effort that I have. And so if they ask that of you, as long as you respect them, I don't know, the idea of not wanting to disappoint them. Does he have that? I don't know.
Kevin into the Equitable Bank inbox writes, how many first-year players are actually voted captain? And the idea was he doesn't have to be voted a captain, but he does need to be a leader. And again, I prefaced everything, there have been rumblings in the offseason that Thompson has ruffled some feathers.
Yes.
In the locker room.
Yes.
And maybe not from a Tommy Frazier standpoint where there's something about his personality you just don't like him. But again, it comes back to respect.
By the way, to answer the question, Adrian Martinez was named captain this year.
Yes, he was. Adrian Martinez.
And look, I know his record. I know, and
sure.
I said my piece for him in his entire career.
But this isn't, I didn't think Casey Thompson needed to be voted a captain.
No. You're just asking the question in general.
But he does need to be a leader.
Yeah.
The old cliche of field general, that's what he is.
Yeah.
And that's one element of his game. We're not 100% sure how it's going to transpire. I mean, we can look at some of the physical attributes and what he did at Texas and say, yeah, these things are all going to translate. But he was also recruited to that school with a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming into a brand new situation with a brand new coach, all new teammates. It is different.
Yeah, and especially, and you hit on the thing that I can't stop thinking about, and I always use last year as an example, but last year, veteran, senior-laden team, super senior-laden team, especially on defense. That was a group that had, played by each other's sides for years. And look, did it result in wins? No. But things didn't come apart at the seams like they could have if the team wasn't close and they weren't tight. I'm not saying that to say this group isn't tight because I don't know. Like you said, there are certainly rumblings and stories out there about Casey and how things have worked for him thus far, and that'll show itself on the field. I don't know otherwise, though, how close this team feels. And I'm not talking about wins and losses. I'm just talking about togetherness. I don't know how they feel about each other. Whereas I felt like I had a pretty good idea last year going in that they were all for,
right.
one for all.
Yeah,
so I don't know
it's
that.
not just the dynamic on the field that's changed, it's the dynamic in the locker room that has changed. And it's one thing when you're going through training camp, going through practice, going through summer conditioning.
Yeah.
But everything changes once that ball is kicked off.
Yep.
And you're starting to face enemy. And they're trying to inflict upon you what you're trying to inflict upon
And
them.
so that's why maybe getting down by 10 against Northwestern, why this year might actually be better because it's not the same group as it was last time. It's not the same, team that fell apart in very particular ways. It's not even the same quarterback who just got voted a captain down at Kansas State. Maybe that's why, or that's where the new blood of this program, that's where a Casey Thompson can emerge because he didn't go through that last year and he's not a part of it. And a lot of these guys weren't a part of it. And even if you were, it's like, hey, that's last season. This is a brand new year. That's the question that I have is, I mean, again, they were down 30-9 versus Illinois. They did have the ball down by a score with a chance to tie it. They got down by multiple scores in a lot of games, and they always came back, and they made it interesting, and they just never, of course, were able to get over the hump. If that group last year in the 30-9 game, if they weren't as tight as they seemingly were, that's a game that goes sideways. That's a game that gets away from them, and they don't lose, by 8 points. They lose by 28 points. What happens this year if something similar goes on?
Joel, J-Check Construction Zone Twitter feed, based on the attention to detail and work ethic that Casey has shown, maybe he's already leading and trying to bring that out of some of the guys who are lacking. Obviously, that can ruffle feathers, but there will be respect as long as he is backing it up. Here is Jeff. Good afternoon, Jeff. Thanks for waiting. You're on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, thanks, guys. Two things I want from my quarterback this year. I don't care how much of an in the clubhouse leader he is. I want a quarterback who does not turn the ball over in late game situations. Number one. And number two, when it is first and goal from the 1 yard line and the coach gives him a shotgun play, he shrugs it off and says, let me hike the ball and just sneak it in for the touchdown. Those two things I want to see this year.
Jeff, thanks for the call. I'm not sure how many college quarterbacks shake off their play call.
That doesn't really happen a whole lot.
And I don't know if I'm not sure what Mark Whipple's 4th and goal at the 1 foot line offense is, or if it includes any shotgun or not. I personally hope it doesn't, but that's just me.
Andy says, if experienced transfer players that came from successful programs didn't come in and ruffle the feathers of players from a losing program, that would be a bigger concern. I understand that POV, but Casey, I mean, he came from a losing program too.
Yes.
Texas, they didn't make a bowl game last year.
No.
He was a sub 500 quarterback. And so I love that idea.
Sure.
And it makes sense, but he at least isn't one of those guys. He's not coming from Oklahoma. He's coming from Texas.
Right.
Now, other players are coming from winning programs.
Again, and there's a difference between being popular and being a leader. You don't have to be popular to be an effective leader.
No.
I think of the old phrase, the thing that the old legendary Packers used to talk about Lombardi. We can cuss the old man, but don't you dare cuss the old man.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit that you want on your team. We can cuss Casey, but don't you cuss Casey. You don't have to be popular to be a leader. My question was not about being popular. My question was, how effective a leader will he be? And I don't have the answer to that.
No, and that's why you're asking the question.
But that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, I hope this discussion does not have to be a negative
No,
thing.
it
does
doesn't.
not inherently have to be negative just because you might not be liked. But I'm with you. I don't think that is the most important quality in a leader. Respect is. Respect is the most important quality in a leader. Wanting to follow that person. When they say something, you take it seriously, and you want to respond to it. There are some guys on the roster that, of course, are going to have the individual drive, and they don't need that. There are others that need that type of leadership. That kind of, come on, let's do this thing together. What is he, and what is he if they win, and what is he if they lose? And how much of this? Look, I guess a question that I would follow up with is, how much of the answer to this question is just how things go? If they win, and even if it comes without any drama, they win this weekend by a couple scores. They win next weekend by a few scores. They win the weekend after that by a few scores. That point, they've gotten 3 wins. Does it make then a demand to do something good in an Oklahoma game, for example, or a Minnesota game? Does it make it easier to do that when you've already put the wins together? The inverse, though, what happens if they lose this weekend and then he's trying to do that? Does it fall on deaf ears?
Yeah.
It's kind of the question, or another question that I'm asking. I just keep asking questions.
When we come back, we're going to have Don Munson join us. He's the voice of Clemson in 25 teams in 25 days. Some breaking news this afternoon from the world of baseball. Walker Buehler, Dodgers star right-hander, Tommy John surgery, he announced on his Instagram. He'll miss the rest of this year, and because the TJ surgery, this is his second, by the way, he's probably out for most, if not all, of next year as well.
Ooh.
He hasn't pitched since June, so, not like the Dodgers were necessarily counting on him, but that's a tough blow.
Yeah.
It's a tough blow.
A couple responses real quick to our Break the Curse event. Jeff says, I don't see Frank Solich sacrificing Steve Peterson with a slice of Valentino's while Shevin Wiggins eats a Runza anywhere on the schedule. Yeah, we were unable to sadly put together that.
No.
Sadly.
Our odds of getting Frank Solich to come in for this event only slightly better than that of Steve Peterson.
Yeah. Money Chris says, I hate the NU band, and sadly, I must admit that the NU band does a better job at banding than the football team does at footballing.
You know, we did get a call earlier, and this caller did say that a lot of the band kids also did cross country, which I can confirm based off my high school.
Cool.
A lot of those band kids also did cross country.
Are they training for a marathon right now? Because again, I'll whoop them in a race.
Well, that's fine, but they're going to whoop your ass on Thursday for all the nasty things you've said about them.
Nah.
At Haymarket Park, free admission, beer will be sold.
Oh!
And
Wonder Thursday.
And the Killigans, who also infamously don't march in a straight line.
The Scarlet and the Cream
will be performing after 6 o'clock. And we'll have a great time. It's free admission. So join us if you can in Lincoln at beautiful Haymarket Park. And coming up next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, it's September Fest in Lot D of CHI Health Center. Is going to be carnival rides, food, clowns. That means Josh will be there.
That's my birthday, September 5th.
Games. There's also going to be a barbecue cook-off.
What?
Oh, this sounds good.
Is Johnny Pig going to be there?
You might. But it's all taking place downtown Omaha, CHI Health Center, Lot D. It's September Fest. Get more details at 1620thezone.com.
Previously on The Crossover.
When you have the tin of popcorn, it has the 4. The cheese, the white, the caramel.
Oh, you're bougie. You went
and then
4. Usually it's 3.
Or is it 3? Okay.
Yeah.
But there's always one that's
That you're-
about 75% gone before any of the others are touched. Which one is it?
Caramel.
Cheese. Mine's caramel. Oh, no.
All 3 are garbage.
Whoa!
Not a-
Popcorn's
not a popcorn
snob.
guy.
Sharp and Benning in the morning. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike Conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Sunny and warm into this evening with the temperatures in the 80s. Later tonight, mostly clear skies. Drops back to the mid and upper 60s for low. Expect more sunshine on Wednesday and summer weather. High temperatures topping out in the lower 90s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up a crash with injuries on Ames Ave at 60th is still causing delays. Otherwise, stop-and-go traffic on the southbound 480 between I-80 and the JFK split. If you're north on the JFK, stop-and-go traffic from Q to L Street with the left lane closed. The southbound JFK has traffic currently stopped from F Street all the way back to eastbound I-80. And then about a 3 to 5 minute delay for Highway 275 for both directions between Center and 165th. I'm Mike Neville.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC, Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Right now, we'll open your drain line for only $93 or it's free. Call for details or request service at justcallburton.com.
It's 42 degrees summer sale, and it is hot. Premium Kratom up to 30% off, CBD up to 50% off, and candles from $9.99. Looking for a new pipe? We have the largest selection of glass, silicone, wood, and metal as low as $7.99. Interested in the latest vaporizer from Dr. Dabber? We have them starting at $24.99 with the most knowledgeable and friendly staff and hot summer sale pricing. Why shop anywhere else? 42 degrees is the source, your source. 42 degrees. Buy your mom's house.
Give your business a whole host of options with Host Coffee. The most impressive selection of office coffee, water options, healthy food options, and vending technologies. Host Coffee, serving you since 72.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear. Shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're certified transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
Take your science or healthcare degree to the next level at College of St. Mary and apply to one of our in-demand graduate programs. Earn a Doctor of Physical Therapy with our online on-campus hybrid program. Earn a Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies in just 2 years, or an Occupational Therapy Doctorate in 3 years. Graduate programs at CSM are inclusive and open to everyone. Plus, we offer an accelerated pathway to several of our healthcare programs for those needing their undergraduate degree. Apply today. Get started at csm.edu.
After 24 years, Horseman's Park will close for major renovations on Sunday, September 18th. The original simulcast facility will be changed forever, so don't miss this final opportunity to watch and wager on over 700 TVs with weekly food and drink specials, door prizes, and so much more. Time is running out to be a part of Nebraska's horse racing history. Now through September 18th, open 7 days a week. Horseman's Park, Omaha's best bet.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program. Start the countdown to kickoff of the college football season.
There's the pressure. Downfield for Ngata. Touchdown, Clemson.
Second down 10 for the Tigers. On the ground, 3 paces wide open. There's nobody near him, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. 59 yards. Purdy's pass batted in the air. Purdy bends it forward, and it's intercepted by Goodrich. Inside the 10, Goodrich into the end zone. Touchdown.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct's 25 teams in 25 days.
They may have lost 3 games last year. They may have been left out of the ACC championship. They may have been left out of the national championship. But they have not been left out of our preseason top 4 of 25 teams in 25 days. They are the Clemson Tigers, and their play-by-play voice joins us once again this season to preview Clemson football, Don Munson. Don, happy new football year to you.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to see 2022 get going now. Let's get it on. Just a couple of weeks away.
That's right. It's getting very close. As the team's fortunes slipped last year, and should be emphasized, it is a slip. I mean, 3 losses. I know a lot of other teams would have preferred their season ending with 3 losses. It kind of mirrored the play of quarterback DJ Uiagalelei, who some may have classified as having the classic sophomore slump. Is there any question that he is still the man and he can still be that quarterback that was so promised of him when he broke out as a freshman a couple of years ago?
I don't think there's any doubt that Uiagalelei is still what he was back in his freshman campaign. Did he have some problems last year? Absolutely, he had some problems last year. He'll admit to that. But he also had the pieces of the puzzle that were around him. Offensive line woes. There were running backs that missed significant times because of injury. Wide receivers missing significant time because of injury. Tight ends that were hurt. I mean, it all kind of hit the Clemson offense. But thank goodness that Clemson defense was there to kind of carry him through. But I'm expecting DJ to have a big 2022.
Donna, I'm wondering what you see with the wide receiver group that'll be throwing to this year. Read a stat today that according to Pro Football Focus, Clemson dropped 27 passes last year, 3rd most in the conference. Was that a point of emphasis throughout the offseason, making sure that the receivers take the ball in?
It was a point of emphasis during the year, to be perfectly honest with you. But, unfortunately, the injuries, they crept up. They're playing a lot of young bodies. They're out there, but you're right. I mean, you got to catch the ball. It's like baseball. You can't make a play until you catch the ball. Catch the ball first, and then worry about it. So, and that wide receiving core, is already a little banged up. To be perfectly honest with you, as we, are midway here through August, there have been some injuries already that have cropped up among that wide receiving core. So that does become a bit of a question mark. I think there's some depth there. I think there is some good talent that is there, particularly there's some good young talent that has shown up here on campus. But I think that probably the biggest thing is that our tight end core is going to kind of make up for a little bit of what was going on with wide receiver last year.
But on the flip side of things, as we talk with the voice of the Clemson Tigers, Don Munson, Clemson is team number 4 in 25 teams in 25 days. The running back situation is, quite frankly, the opposite. You got a lot of experience back, even though it's still young, couple of sophomores and a junior, but all back from last year. Could you foresee Clemson leaning maybe heavier on the run as they kind of get their feet on the ground when it comes to the passing game?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, I really do. I think that Clemson, that was what carried them the end of last year was the running game. They really turned to the running game the last 6 games of the year, and it paid off for them. They win 6 in a row and carry the longest Power 5 winning streak into the season in college football. But with what you have with Shipley, what you have with Pace, what you have also with Maffa back there, you have an extraordinarily deep room that is back there. Shipley is a little bit of a different beast than he was his freshman year. And so Pace has lost some weight. He's dropped about 15 pounds, so he's a little more shifty. And I think that by committee, I think this is a backfield that it won't shock me to see them maybe rush for 2,800 yards and score somewhere between 22 to 30 touchdowns in a season. And if that happens, then things are going to go really well offensively for Clemson.
Don, I want to circle back to DJ before we get over to the defense. I remember a few years ago, Kelly Bryant came into the 2018 season as a starter, and I think we were all waiting for Trevor Lawrence to take over. It took about a month into that season. It's a different scenario, of course, this year, but do you think that there will be a short leash at quarterback, or is that something that they don't want, that Dabo does not want to do in 2022?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt that, DJ's got to go out there and perform. The young freshman quarterback out of Texas, Cade Klubnik, has shown what he can do, not only during the spring, but then also so far here during fall camp. Brandon Streeter, the offense coordinator, quarterback coach, yesterday told the media, listen, Cade's going to play. He's going to play in game 1. So you can expect to see that. So I like the fact that there is somebody pushing Uiagalelei, but, I do believe there is separation between the two. And it's not quite like, when Trevor Lawrence stepped on campus. I think everybody knew that Trevor Lawrence was going to, be the guy eventually. And I don't know if anybody thought it was going to be his freshman year. But, this Klubnik kid now, he can play. He can get things done with his feet. Been throwing the ball maybe to the wrong jersey a little bit here in August. But he's a kid that can play. And they have very high hopes for Cade Klubnik.
Voice of Clemson, Don Munson, joining us. Clemson in 25 teams in 25 days. It's going to be hard to find many defensive lines better than the one Clemson's going to roll out. And it's not just the starters, but the 2 deep is really, really good. There is changes, of course, with the new defensive coordinator. But do you sense that the formula is to not fix what isn't broken? Or do you think there'll be some changes in the post-Brent Venables era?
I don't think there's going to be a ton of change from what the DNA of Clemson is defensively. If anything, I think you may see more exotic kind of blitz scheme packages come from Wes Goodwin than you saw from Brent. And that's saying a lot because Venables dialed up a lot of exotic stuff. But what we've seen so far is, I would say, Wesley is even doing a little bit more so. And he's got so many weapons to work with. I mean, like I said, we're 5-6 deep at defensive end. We're 5 deep at defensive tackle. We've got the linebacker core maybe not as deep, but what we have there is young, talented, and extraordinarily fast. The defensive backfield is settling in. They lost some pieces to the National Football League, but the pieces that they're replacing those kids with are pretty doggone good. There's a kid named Nate Wiggins. You better write that name down because I'm telling you, by the end of the season, you're going to know a lot about Nate Wiggins at corner for Clemson. So there's some pieces there now that Goodwin can work with, but the DNA of Clemson defense is going to be, still going to stay the same. It is not going to change.
Don, I wanted to follow up about the cornerbacks in particular, given that, like you said, the talent that they lost there to the pros. Is that like the biggest question on the side of the ball? And I wonder what you think about the front 7 kind of helping that group come along as the early part of the year unfolds.
Well, certainly the biggest help to any defensive backfield is having pressure put on by the front 7, particularly if you can get it with just 4. So if you can get it with just 4, and that makes defensive backfields even better because you can drop, kids. Today's game is also played a little bit differently. There's way more nickel and dime packages, so there's a lot of times when you're playing with 5 defensive backs, sometimes even 6 defensive backs that are out there. But there's plenty of talent that's in that backfield. There's plenty of depth that is back there. But certainly, if the front 4, front 7 can give them some pressure, that will certainly help them out.
Don, you've seen some good defenses. The one in 2018 that won the national championship was one of the best. I won't ask you if it will be better, but does it have the potential to be better if some of those questions get answered?
Well, I think I kind of try to quash maybe even Clemson faithful hopes of that. I mean, just take a look at that 18 defense. We have 5 guys in the defensive line that played in the National Football League. And 2 of them were 3 of them were first-round draft choices. So, I don't know that I just don't know that you're going to replace that kind of talent. Although the talent that is there now, Brian Bresee, Miles Murphy, Tyler Davis, those kids, Bresee and Murphy, I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to be first-round draft picks. Davis is a guy, probably the most unsung guy on the defensive line who probably plays the best, to be perfectly honest with you, and has been the healthiest. So I think there's plenty of that kind of talent, but you still got to match that. And they need to go out and make their own names for themselves. They don't need to worry about what was here in 18. They need to take care of business for this year. And if they can live up to those expectations that are kind of out there for them, then they'll go down in the annals, but they got to go out and earn it. They really do. I mean, Clemson this year is going to get everything that they earn, and that's good and bad. And I love it. I love that's the fact. That's the attitude. That's the mindset that we have here at Clemson.
Don, kind of along those lines, I wanted to look at things big picture for a moment because I imagine you've heard the noise outside the program. Many are viewing this year as maybe a fork in the road of can they get back to what they had been from 15 until 2020, or was last year a sign of things to come where they're still obviously a really good team, but maybe in that step below? Is that type of noise being sensed at all inside of Clemson? And this is an opportunity to maybe prove some of those doubters wrong, or is that something that you think that they've avoided entirely?
No, I think that probably some of that noise is heard, but I think it's a good thing because it makes for a salty Dabo Swinney. And believe me, a salty William Christopher Swinney is a good thing. When he can put that chip on his shoulder and then he can kind of use that as a tool to inspire his guys, Clemson has responded. So, yeah, if you want to think that the run by Clemson is over, go ahead. More power to you. But I'm telling you, it's not. Yeah, one of the slogans that Coach Swinney always tells his guys, the best is yet to come. You think that you've seen the best of Clemson football, national championships in 16 and 18 under Coach Swinney. Nah, the best is still yet to come. What they did in the decades of the 2010s, he's expecting to do even more so here in the 2020s.
Don Munson, the voice of Clemson. This is why they're team number 4 in 25 teams in 25 days. Don, have a great season. Enjoy it. And we will talk to you down the road, I'm sure.
Hey, appreciate you, folks. Appreciate letting me have on. Spread a little gospel of the Clemson Tigers. Go Tigers.
Appreciate it. Don Munson joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. And yes, we did get a William Christopher Swinney. He's worked that in.
Look, I am
every single year.
And he got in what he said there at the very end, spreading the gospel. I will admit it. I am one of those people. I think that Clemson is not going to be what they have been, what the run that started in 2015 when they went to the national championship and that ended, in my opinion, in 2020 when they lost in the semifinals to Ohio State. They have 2 new coordinators. They just lost. I mean, John, you want to talk about best hires, non-head coaching hires of the last decade plus. I would say what they did, they win their first ACC championship in 2011. In how many years? They win their first league title. And they go to an Orange Bowl and they get rocked by West Virginia. They allow 70 points. He fires Kevin Steele. He brings in Venables. And that was really, the precursor to what they would become. But I don't know, man, new coordinators, their defense, I think, is going to be really salty. But I think that they're a tick below now. I don't think that they're in that, top 3 or 4, however many teams you want to put in that group. Not anymore.
This year, maybe, but I'm not going to say long-term that Clemson is done. in terms of being in that upper tier. They recruit way too well.
They do recruit really well.
They recruit way too well. Yes, they need to fortify, and we didn't really talk about it with Don, but when they need to fortify their offensive lines because that has been their weakness over the last handful of seasons. But the way they recruit defensively, and I think they're still going to get great skill position players. I agree. I don't think they're national championship. I don't think they're number 4 worthy this year. But long term, I need to see another year or two of regression before I'm ready to proclaim that Clemson can't get back to being top 2 or top 3 like they were just a couple of years ago. All right. We still have some unsportsmanlike content and some bet of the day action to come right here on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Rock and country music's hardest hitters join forces. Five Finger Death Punch. Brantley Gilbert. With special guest Corey Mars. November 30th, CHI Health Center, Omaha. On sale now at livenation.com. Five Finger Death Punch's new album, Afterlife, out now. Five Finger Death Punch and Brantley Gilbert, live.
If you want to start the semester strong, Staples has you covered.
A gaming chair for my dorm. I mean, a desk chair for studying.
Staples has you covered.
A better way to organize my stuff instead of using milk crates.
A desk lamp to help me pull all-nighters.
Staples has you covered with remote workspace solutions. And now get 25% off desks, filing and storage solutions, lighting and decor with the purchase of any chair. Explore solutions for your remote workspace at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 9/24. In-store only.
Sharp and Betting in the Morning is back on the road each home game Friday at our good friends Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe in Exarban Village, breaking down the big games and the Husker game. Each home game Friday, $6 breakfast entrees. We are there doing the show at Exarban Village. First 20 people that come in and mention 1620 The Zone get breakfast free during the shows. Again, $6 breakfast when we are there at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe. Plus, you can register, win tickets and prizes each home game Friday. Sharp and Betting in the Morning on the road at Jones Bros Cupcakes and Cafe.
Teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
Yeah, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, anything, you need to tell an adult, someone you know and trust. That can be hard, but speaking up about a problem is what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Old creepy guy.
The 1620 The Zone.
Unsportsmanlike Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike. And then House of the Dragon? Dragon House?
Yeah. We're going to talk Dragon.
Did Nick actually
Did you
watch
do
it
your
this
homework,
time?
Yes, I watched it last night.
Okay.
You weren't doing laundry?
Not last night. I should have, but I didn't.
Okay. House of the Dragon spoilers coming up too.
I'm going to have stinky clothes because of you. Good. What should the Athletics' Stuart Mandel have to do if his 4-8 Huskers prediction is way off the mark?
Yeah, we're going to have him do a walk of shame?
I don't know. Would you then do a walk of shame given you were wrong last year and we were all wrong? Well, I was mostly right last year, but everybody else, I mean, what do we do for always being wrong in the other way? I picked them to win the division in 2019. I didn't have to. Did I do anything?
So you're defending this hate speech.
Hate speech. Hey,
this foreign hate speech.
Nice.
Get
now
it?
I kind of want to predict that record just so you can say that about me.
Yeah,
we're going to demand that he comes on our show and answer to this.
I'm going to say this right now. I don't know if anyone who covers national college football is going to have a prediction this low.
No, and honestly, it seems like a lot of
this will be the low ball.
Yeah, a lot of those places, they don't even have to do records. Like the CBS one we read off today. They just said where they'll be in the division. They didn't have to even attach a record to it. So I bet you're right. I bet 4-8's the worst record that we will see somebody actually predict.
Hot dog. When asked about playing a Husker volleyball match at Memorial Stadium, John Cook told Tom Chattel, I don't know who would want to play us there. If we want to get to that point, we have to play at PBA first. Is this a good idea?
No. No.
Wow, Josh out on 70,000 people showing up for a volleyball
Here's what I'm out
match.
on, John. The wind. The wind.
The wind.
People obviously forget about wind.
They'd play football in the wind.
Not
They
volleyball,
play baseball. Why can't they?
Because they don't. I don't know. That's just a part of the structure.
Maybe they just need to pick a day that's not windy.
Yeah. That's what they should do. Just pick the not windy day. Because forecasts can never be wrong.
What if they did this? What if they encased the court in glass?
Okay, then yes, because it'd be goofy. All in. All in on the glass court.
Volleyball in they call it a terrarium?
A dome.
Terrarium.
A terrarium.
That was a book.
Volleyball in a terrarium.
There was a book by Stephen King.
What are you talking?
Called
They play
The
sand
Dome.
volleyball outside.
And then the
That's
idiot
sand
who designs
volleyball,
it probably won't put
There's
enough
wind
breathing
outside.
holes, and pretty soon the poor girls will be.
Women, John. But Nick, that's a part of the sports infrastructure.
The question was,
time do the girls play?
Yeah, it was never-
that's
it
about
was
to be
never
back.
what time the women play. It was always
That's
what
true.
time
Why
the
can't they
girls
use the
play.
same wind rules in sand volleyball for normal volleyball?
I don't know, Nick. That's just what they do. You're asking
It's
me
a
questions.
great point.
I didn't invent volleyball.
You know what?
That's not on me.
I think Nebraska's good enough. They can overcome a 15-degree northeast breeze. Or
Okay,
15
fine. You know
mile an hour
what?
northeast
Let's
breeze.
do it. Let's do it,
I'd love
John.
to see
Do
it.
your John Cook accent again.
Let's do it.
Cool. There's John Cook.
I can't wait till you unleash this, when we're live at the Creighton, Nebraska volleyball match in a couple of
Hey,
weeks.
play outside. Yeah, we're going to be there. Do people know about this? Have they seen this? Have they heard about this? What day, John, are we going to be there again?
Well, the day of the match.
Which day is that again?
That's a week from next Wednesday.
Man, that's going to be awesome.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
September the 7th, 2 days after my birthday. I'll be 34. I'll be a young, spry 34.
Cray-Braska. It's back.
Well, that's assuming that you survived the Nebraska alumni band after they kick your ass on
They
Thursday.
can't catch me, John.
Speaking of good ideas, Chattel also reported he's hearing word that Creighton might be playing a conference basketball game on Christmas Day this season versus DePaul. You two like the idea of some Jays hoops after some presents and cocoa?
Some of us would have to work that day, unlike the other of you.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. I'm good with this.
Because you hate your family.
I don't think I've ever done a sporting event on a Christmas day. So that would be a new one. Also, there is the potential because Fox is going to have an NFL game that afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who's playing in that game.
Let me look it up real fast.
But I'm assuming that this would be a lead-in to the basketball.
So that day, we have Knicks Miami Dolphins, the horrible franchise.
I'm a Broncos guy now.
Oh, okay. So that's the noon game. Is that the noon game? And then John's. Oh, the Broncos, Nick, are at John's Rams.
Oh, wait, I missed the Rams game?
You missed the Rams
game
game.
completely.
And then we
Out
get
on this
Bucks cards
completely.
at night. Wow, a triple. This is like Big Ten football. Fox, CBS, and NBC in that order. Do I like this idea? I don't care. I'll be watching the NFL. I'll be in Fremont opening presents. I don't care.
Drinking cocoa?
I'll be thinking about you. I'll be saying, I hope John's having a Merry Christmas.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. You don't like being at home on Christmas. You'll probably love this if it's true. If Chattel's right, you're going to have a blast. A blast. Driving to Omaha on Christmas Day. Nothing better.
Yankees manager Aaron Boone got a pick-me-up from his boss Brian Cashman despite his 6-14 record in August. The group has my belief. I believe strongly in them, and I think that they are still capable of everything we've ever hoped and dreamed. But we have to weather the storm first and foremost. Was this the dreaded vote of confidence?
It sure sounds like
Why
it.
does Brian Cashman sound like John Cook?
What time do the girls play? He does kind of sound like John Cook. I think this might be John. Remember, people forget Aaron Boone was on a bit of a hot seat last year. People were wondering if he was going to get fired. Apparently, he was pounding the table the other day. Pounding the table. He's mad. You mad? You mad?
If Brian Cashman is throwing out votes of confidence, maybe Brian Cashman needs to look up the ladder because he may be on a hot seat.
He should throw out one for himself.
Yeah.
Got him.
So I'd be careful, throwing out any votes of confidence if that's indeed what he's doing, because he may need the vote of confidence.
Indeed. Even him.
Albert Pujols hit his 693rd career home run last night with a month and a half left in the regular season. When do you see him getting to 700?
And this is his last year, right?
He said this is his last year. He's not going to play anymore.
Let's say he gets to 699.
Nice.
Thank you, Nick. Does he come back?
I think he'd be good to his word.
Man.
He comes back for the home run derby.
I would hope so.
700
I would hope so. You know why? Because I would be impressed that a guy could go out on top like this, assuming he continues. And
Almost on top.
Listen, even if Albert Pujols, let's say this hot streak cools off, right? And he kind of regresses a little bit. He still has had a tremendous homecoming season. The Cardinals are probably going to be in the playoffs. Sure. He's going to go out a hero.
A hero?
So I hope that either I would
hero.
like to see him get the record, or not get. It's not a record, but get to 700. So that way there is no temptation to come back. I like it when athletes stand by their word and say, you know what, this is going to be it, and then they actually stand by it. They're not like these wishy-washy people who, who retire.
John doesn't like the temptation.
And then 5 weeks later, during the NCAA tournament selection show, announce that they're coming back. Oh, and then skip out of practice for like a dozen days.
John Bishop, here for quitters.
Very specific.
No, I'm not here for quitters. I'm here for people that give their word and keep it.
You know who you are here for, though? Yourself. Jordan writes, John will like that check after getting holiday pay. Yeah, would you get holiday pay?
No, I will not get holiday pay.
Oh, bummer. He's not going to get to 700. That's the answer to the question.
Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud is the plus 200 favorite to win the Heisman at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code 1620. But according to the Caesar Sportbook, more bets have come in on Alabama linebacker Will Anderson, who started at 66-1 and has been bet down to 22-1. The big question in all of this, who cares?
Oh, thank you, Nick. God, I was worried. I was like, why are we talking about the Heisman Trophy odds? Okay, you ready?
Yeah, this isn't College Game Day where we spend way too much time talking about that crap.
Do you care if Thompson gets it?
Yes, because we would talk about it if Casey Thompson was in the running. Prepare the drinking
I
game.
would definitely talk about it because then I would kindly remind folks he's not on the poster.
Drinking game time. So I was listening to a college football podcast this morning on my run. That's 2 drinks, by the way. And they were unironically talking about the Heisman Trophy race. And I was thinking, have we reached that part of the offseason? We've reached Heisman Trophy odds part of the offseason. Boys, we really do need the season to start. 4 days away.
Yeah.
Oakland police are investigating a sex act that took place in the upper deck of the A's Ring Central Coliseum on Sunday. That's the name of their Coliseum?
Yes.
Ew.
Hilarious.
Shouldn't the A's hire this couple for providing more entertainment than the baseball team?
They absolutely should. You're not allowed to do that stuff in public, though. That's illegal.
Why would you? I understand.
Why would you what?
They were in the upper deck.
Some people like it.
Some people like doing it around people.
Yeah, there are fetishists that do that. But
what are those Reddit pages called, Nick?
Why wouldn't you find a more secluded place that maybe is like under the overhang but away from people? And
again, I think that was part of the
thrill.
That's a word that we can say on the radio. Agreed.
Well, he was definitely getting more of the thrill than she was.
Hey, maybe she likes doing that.
In front of
John.
In front of tens of people.
I was going to say, hey, you put it on the internet. More people are going to watch it than would ever see it at the baseball game. It's an A's game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, did you ever look up the thing that Ferrin sent you?
No. I will. I'll do that at home on my own internet.
Incognito.
On your own.
Yes, not the work internet. I don't want to do it on the work internet.
Okay. Good call. Good call.
An Elkhorn man caught a 90 million year old fish fossil in the Missouri River.
Whoa!
Do you think such things could exist in the Missouri? Missouri?
Well, obviously they can exist.
He caught one.
But did you think they actually could exist?
I don't even know what is that thing.
It looks like a
it's
spine.
I believe it was called its nickname is it's a bulldog fish, but it's from 90 million years ago.
In the Missouri?
Yeah, that's where all bulldogs come from.
Oh, okay.
I would be See, I would like to learn more about this. The fascination, because obviously 90 million years ago.
It's a long time.
It's when the continents were all
Yeah, what was it called
squished
again?
together.
Pangea.
Pangea. Not
What were you going to call it?
Fantasia.
Fantasia.
Pangea.
Pangea?
Big
Yeah.
Fantasia guy, Josh.
Yeah. Be
But
interesting if we were just one continent, kind of like Middle Earth.
Stay away from Mount Doom.
Anyway, I thought this was pretty cool.
Can't wait for
Very
our
neat.
Rings of Power weekly discussion. John agreed to do it, so we're going to do
Hell
it.
yeah!
No, I did not
Isn't
agree
that
to
Nick?
do
Is that a
anything.
Thursday show?
I think it's a
Watching
Thursday
this
show.
thing. No, I'm
I gotta finish the book. I'm almost done with.
Man, if you
Return
guys
of the
want to
King.
do this, and then
September
I
2nd,
can just
Friday. It's a Friday.
cut
show.
out
Oh,
10
Friday
minutes
show.
early. I'll be happy to.
It's next Friday, John.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
so I have a little over a week to finish the book. I'll finish. I was gonna watch all the movies. I'm not gonna have enough time.
You bow to
Running
no
out
one.
of time, man. I don't have time anymore. But I make time, Nick. I make time for the show.
Yeah.
Unlike a certain someone,
Hmm.
you.
Oh.
You. I'm talking about you.
Oh,
Nick.
me?
You, Nick Grimm.
Oh.
Nicholas Grimm.
Well, coming up next, it's the bet of the day,
And
and I guess we're going to talk about the
Dragon.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk dragons.
House of the Dragon.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, while these two nerds are getting all excited about their Lord of the Rings thing, natural excitement. Oh, remember those days when everything worked and you didn't have to worry about taking pills? Well, you can have those days back with Brookside Medical Clinic. The advanced wave technology, it restores and regrows blood vessels. That gets the blood flowing, and that makes, you know what, work again normally, without taking a pill, without side effects, without having to, back time everything. Oh, honey, hey, would you like to, oh, wait, I need to take this pill. Call me back in a couple of hours and we'll, no, you don't have to do that anymore. The advanced wave technology can make it all happen naturally, and it's non-surgical. So there's not going to be any lengthy recovery times and no slicing and dicing. Call 402-671-7777. Tell them you heard this spot on the Zone, and you can get a free consultation of blood flow ultrasound. That's right. Free. 402-671-7777. Brookside Medical. Time to get excited the natural way again. No more pills. With Brookside. 402-671-7777.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is to Cops. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, tasty charred wings, sandwiches, pastas, and steaks. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. For the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center or 180th and Center.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Before you know it, Husker football season is going to be here, and you want to be in Memorial Stadium or following the Big Red on the road. And while you look for tickets, look no further than ticketsforless.com. Formerly Ticket Express, they are your home for the best selection of Husker tickets inside of Memorial Stadium. And the best part, you'll never pay those outrageous fees like you do at other sites. Just compare. And you want to follow the Big Red on the road? Tickets for Less has you covered there, too. Find the best seats at the best prices to all your favorite Nebraska events, all in one convenient location. Ticketsforless.com. That's ticketsforless.com. Get in the stadium.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
So he's got the man's junk in his hands.
The 1620 The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
Folks, we had a rough go yesterday. John had the Cubs. They lost.
But they won today,
though.
and that's all that matters. It's only about today.
I had an under in a preseason game. The under didn't hit. It sucked. Nick had a parlay, and the Angels screwed him. You know what I'm going to do?
Shocking.
I'm going to go against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Give me the Rays, minus 1.5 runs, plus 128.
I, too, will take some of that action, but give me the Rays and the Giants tonight, plus 125.
Give me the Phillies, minus 215.
Oh, that's boring.
And that's the bet of the day.
Iowa.
So, yeah, we're late. We're a day late.
And $1 short.
But because Nick failed to do his homework assignment.
I told you guys you could have talked about it. You talked about Saul. You didn't care about that.
Yeah, but you're seasons behind.
Yeah, you
Saul.
weren't watching Saul.
Yeah.
You were watching.
Yeah.
We're going to watch this. But House of the Dragon.
Yes.
The new prequel. And yes,
spoiler alert.
To Game of Thrones. 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Featuring the wild and wacky Targaryen family. First observation. Man, I am going to miss all the normal-ish names. It's hard to keep track of all these folks because they all basically have the same name.
Yeah, you have King Targ and Young Girl Targ and now Dead Mom Targ, C-section Targaryen.
Yeah. Discount Daenerys is what I saw somebody call
Discount
one.
Daenerys.
Oh, nice.
Discount
That's a good
Daenerys.
idea.
Discount Daenerys.
Yeah.
By the way,
Targaryen.
apparently this season's going to fast forward.
I didn't
here.
realize that until yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm okay
so
with
the
that.
kids are going to get a little bit older.
So I said yesterday, Targaryens, obviously bad people. They're inbreeding. They're nasty folks. But man, so two scenes. I mean, the guy who, first of all, he pulled down his pants. He farts for some reason. And then they cut off his, they just toss him onto the little pile. Rough look for that guy. The C-section scene.
That was rough.
What a gnarly decision that he made just to have a son. And then he has a son and the son dies a couple hours later. That's what you get, you dumbass. Garbage people. The Targaryens deserve all the bad that comes to them. I do not like that family. They're great heels, though. They're great characters.
Oh, they are great characters.
Do you think they're all bad, or do you think
most of them are bad? Even Daenerys was a
Well,
psycho.
that's the thing about the Targaryens, though, right? Either they've got a 50-50 shot of being cool or being insane.
Yeah.
The Maester,
yep,
he was a Targaryen. He was a pretty cool dude.
I did like the Maester Targaryen. He was a nice guy.
I think the king is a pretty. I mean, for what it's worth,
He chose wife dying.
Well, but the wife was going to die.
It's a hard
anyway.
decision.
I thought
Josh.
it was one or the other. I thought it was keep your wife and lose the kid.
I watched the thing after the show, and maybe that wasn't made clear, but it sounded like either way she was going to die.
Okay.
So they did this experimental thing, dude.
And they pump her full of more milk of the poppy.
Because they said
they
specifically said it would kill the kid.
So it was like, okay, she has to go through horrific pain as she dies.
Right.
And then hopefully the kid survives.
Right.
You know what I can't figure out? So clearly, Discount Daenerys and that other girl are a thing, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with the uncle? Because there's something there.
Joust man,
the one who gave her the necklace.
Prince Daemon.
Yeah, Daemon. Damon Benning.
Not Damon Benning.
Damon Benning Targaryen.
No, but was he just being a cool uncle, or was that just Targaryen being Targaryen when he gave her that necklace?
Yeah, I think there's a little sexual energy there.
But do you think Discount Daenerys reciprocates, or is she too focused on her?
Probably gonna have to.
Her other friend. Yeah,
that's probably how it's gonna go.
I'm not sure.
Also, I'll say
find
this:
out.
it was cool. Like, I didn't like the End of Thrones. You and I didn't like the End of Thrones.
No.
But man, just being back in that world and the music hits and the dragons flying, I was like, it reminded me of why I liked that show so much.
Yeah.
You know, and I just hope I really enjoyed it. I went into this kind of like you, very tepid. Like I was gonna tune in, but if I didn't like it, I was gonna be like, you know what, I don't know if I'm gonna waste my time. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the wife
really
enjoyed it too. So I think it hit. And by the way, it set a record.
Yeah,
on HBO,
Not a TV ratings guy.
most views for a debut show is over 10 million.
That is nuts.
I am gonna,
especially in this day and age when you're talking about a lot of people who watch streaming and watch on their own time to get 10 million.
Yep,
it's pretty impressive.
I think I am gonna start pausing this show and overanalyzing it, because that jousting tournament, when people started fighting each other, there was Lannisters killing Starks killing Tarleys,
Baratheons were
there, and it's they never really named them, but you could tell just based off of their colors and their
when
coat of
they had
arms
the
and all
flags
their
out, you noticed the Bolton flag was there.
Oh, I didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
I saw the Bolton.
Oh, the X
with the upside, the guy hanging
the
upside
flayed
down.
man.
Oh man, tough look.
Super cool, super normal house sigil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I
me
look forward
too.
to see how this continues to develop. Anymore, I'm going to need supers just so I can keep all the names
Honestly,
straight.
this might be a show that I watch with subtitles, just so that when they say their names, I'll be able to pick them up faster.
That's what I did last night. It's there's no way.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow, Max Olson's going to join us. Great article on Adrian Martinez, Mike Schaefer.
Oh, wow.
Preview Georgia, and it's Dumb Debates Day.
Wow, what a day.
And it's kind of our last normal day of the week because we're going to be out and about the next
That's
couple
true.
after that. See you then.
Bye.